Yo, what's happening, people? Okay, we are live right now, live from the village right now. It is 8:34 in the PM right now. It is the 9th of January 2023 right now. It is Monday movie night right now. We're about to watch Jeepers Creepers Reborn right now. Alan Evans in the house right now. How's it going today? It is going okay. It is going tickety boo. So far so good. Hopefully your day's going well. But you know, if it's not, hopefully it gets better. But how you been? It's been a minute since I see you in the stream, actually, Mr. Evans. How you been, dude, over the last however long it's been since the last time I saw you in? But yeah, Monday movie night, Jeepers Creepers. It is on Amazon and other streaming services to buy and or rent. You don't gotta do either of that if you don't want to. You can just come along and have some fun. Sam Barber's in the house. What up, Sam? Good evening, Woody. It is well. Let me not say why Sam's calling me Woody. I'll I'll let you guys guess. But anyway, let me switch over to this screen. Chat to you guys for a little bit before we start the movie. Jeepers Creepers Reborn from 2022. It is 1 hour and 27 minutes long, and apparently this movie is terrible, so I'm looking forward to it. How you guys been? How's your day going? How's your day been? Appreciate you joining this live stream. So I didn't watch so I didn't watch Jeepers Creepers 1, 2, or 3. I was planning on doing that when you messaged me, and I was telling about I was planning on watching at least one of them. I decided I'm not going to do that. Certainly not, at least not now. Never say never, but at least not now. What up, Brax? And the reason for that is because I was reading some pretty disturbing things about the writer-director of Jeepers Creepers 1, 2, and 3, and I just thought, you know what, I don't want to have any kind of part in that. So let me not. Like I say never. I'm not saying I'm not necessarily boycotting or anything like that, but at the same time, it's like, you know what, I don't like that's off to me. That's way off. So let me just not watch them. But this particular one, he's got nothing to do with, or at least very little outside of, I guess, creating characters or whatever. But he's not writing, directing, or involved in any significant way in this particular one. So I thought, you know, let me just skip straight to the fourth movie, Reborn. Apparently it is a sequel, as in it's not just like a reboot or anything. It is an actual sequel. So I'm probably going to be missing at least some context, but you know what, it is what it is. And it's apparently it's a bad movie anyway, so I guess it doesn't even matter if I miss some context anyway. Maybe it just makes it all the way worse for me, and in that case, even better. So yeah. That's how we're doing it. Well, that's how I'm doing it. What up, Brax? What up, Al? What up, Sam? Yeah, and my dad came home from hospital on New Year's Day, so I've been looking after him, helping him and stuff. That's why I ain't been in the last week's stream. How's your dad doing? It was COVID, you said. Was that right? Like, I think you were saying you got it, your dad got it. I think your mum got it as well. Was that right? I'm sorry if I just made that up. But I think you said you had it for a little bit. But yeah, how's everybody doing with that though? I'm assuming you're okay with it. But how is you? How did? I mean, you were vaccinated. I believe you said, right? So I guess that helped. Were your folks, are they vaccinated as well? But in any case, whether they're vaxxed or not, hopefully they're getting through it okay. But yeah, it is movie night. So here's the thing, by the way. My trip to Karachi. Oh, by the way, I did see your thing, Al, about looking up what how to ask for where the loo is. So yes, that could come in handy. COVID, my dad had heart failure, but he's doing. Oh, okay, sorry. But yeah, glad he's doing okay though. All right, so my trip to Karachi is on the 25th morning. So the flight is in the morning on the 25th. That's Wednesday. So what that means is there should be a movie night next week on the 16th, and then one on the 23rd of January. Then fly out to Karachi on the 25th, and I should be back by Monday the 30th. However, I'm guessing I'll probably be jet lagged and mad sleepy then, so I'm anticipating no movie nights on the 30th, and then hopefully be sort of back to normal from the 6th of February onwards. But yeah, so there should be one next week, should be one on the 23rd, and probably not on the 30th. But yeah, just so y'all know of the things coming up. But yeah, looking forward to Karachi. That's on the 25th to the 30th. Been looking at stuff to do while out there, things to visit, stuff like that. Trying to get as much ready as possible. Just bought some stuff from Amazon. So yeah, looking forward to that. I got a phone. I'm calling it my travel phone, and the general idea is I guess kind of how it sounds. It's a phone that I use while I'm traveling, in case anything happens. You know, cause things can go missing, things get lost or stolen, stuff like that. So I bought a phone that isn't particularly expensive, but can do stuff that I need it to do while over there. Hopefully nothing happens, of course, but on the chance that something does, I do have travel insurance as well, but even still, I'd rather not go through the hassle of trying to replace a more expensive mobile. So I got a cheaper phone that if it does go missing, I could replace it a lot easier. But 2 movie nights before you fly. Yeah, so well, I guess 3 really. Today, 16th and 23rd, and then probably not on the 30th. I'm not gonna say definitely not on the 30th, because you know what, I might get back and be fine. But I'm probably gonna be sleeping. I'm probably gonna be out cold for that day. I'm assuming. It's a long flight, so yeah. Shit as usual, you feel me? Good stuff, Brax. Yeah. Chill. It's good to be chill. It's good to be relaxed and calm about things. That being said, sometimes things just piss you off. But hopefully nothing's pissing you guys off. At least not in any bad ways. Buffy, I think about 6 or 7 episodes away from the end of Buffy and Angel. The last episode of Angel I watched was today, where I think I can say, you guys have watched it already in it, so I can say it. Where Angel finds out that Wesley took his son away because Wesley was trying to figure out the prophecy. And the prophecy was saying that Angel's going to kill his son. So Wesley tries to protect the kid by taking him away, but that didn't go so well because it ended up getting attacked and Wesley ended up in hospital. And then Angel goes to the hospital and he's all like, it's me, it's Angel, it's not Angelus. And then he puts the pillow of him trying to kill Wesley, and then they had to pull him off him. So that's interesting. And with Buffy, the last episode I watched with Buffy was what happened? It was Xander is about to get married, but then he walked away from the wedding. He called it off, even though he knew the vision was a fake, the future vision was a fake. It just gave him all kinds of cold feet or whatever, and he called it off. And then he decided that he actually does want to be with Anya after all, and he's like, I missed her too much, but it's like too late, bro. She's gone. She's gone. I don't think she's coming back. At least not if she does come back. I don't think she's coming back in any good way. Because the last thing they showed with her was her talking to the Vengeance demon guy, the one that made her into a Vengeance demon. He's like, time for you to get back to what you do best. And then it had Buffy where they kind of teased the idea that the whole thing could be in her head, and it ends, and it kind of goes back and forth between her and the mental institution, and you don't know whether the mental institution was the real world and the vampires was the fake world, or the vampires was the real world and the MS institution was the fake world, because like she gets stabbed by that thing that induced the thing in her. But it was like, apparently she was in a mental institution at some point before, so according to her, they never showed it, I don't think. But yeah, they kind of end with it being a little bit ambiguous, which I really appreciate. I like that kind of stuff sometimes. You know, when they give those kind of endings where it's like, oh, was it a dream? Was it real? Was it, you don't know. I would say though, I feel like that kind of thing, it should have been more of a season ending rather than a mid-season episode. You know what I mean? Like maybe even ending the whole thing in that kind of way, as to leaving the audience, wondering whether it was a dream, whether it was all in their head or not. And then maybe before that, you kind of drop kind of inklings as to whether it's one way or the other, but you never actually confirm it. That could have been a cool way to end the whole thing. But nonetheless, it was still a cool episode, so we'll see how it continues from there. Drinking a JD and Coke to chill tonight. Think the kids have took their souls pill today. Okay, so hopefully they're chill. Yeah, that was an interesting. Yeah. Xander though, I mean, Xander made the wrong choice. Man, Xander made the wrong choice, but you know what? Can't lie, man. I've been there and I've made that wrong choice too. So part of me is like, I get it, because I feel like Xander's probably the one that I relate to the most actually throughout the whole thing. Like throughout everyone in Buffy, I feel like Xander's the one I relate to the most. Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but the way Xander's character's been portrayed throughout all these seasons, I'm like, yeah, that's the one I feel like I relate to the most. Like all the girls he likes either don't like him or they're no good for him, and he finally does meet a girl that he likes him back, everything's going well, and he messes up. I'm like, bruh, that's too real for him. That's too real. At the end of that college Halloween party episode. Oh wait. You might be too far ahead. I don't think I've seen a college Halloween party, so let me not read that, because I guess spoiler accidentally. College Halloween. I don't think I've seen a college Halloween party unless you're talking about a previous season. I appreciate that, Brax. I don't think you had a spoiler in there. At least I don't think I saw something about gang. I didn't. I try not to read it, but hopefully it wasn't. If it is a spoiler, I hope it's not too much of a spoiler. But I guess now I know there's a college Halloween party coming up at some point. I thought season 4. Okay, that's cool. Okay, that's fine. I would have seen season 4. Don't worry about it, Brax. It's all good. Shit, you ain't missed nothing yet. Yeah, so I've watched everything up until... One sec. I can find out where exactly I is. So I've watched everything up until season 3, episode 17 of Angel, and season 6, episode 17 of Buffy. So that's, I've seen everything up until those points and nothing from then on, from episodes 18 onwards on both. So yeah, about what, 4 episodes to go in each, give or take. I've been taking my time with this one though. I haven't been like binging it like previous seasons. I kind of binged it on, like, watched like 3-4 episodes at a time and that kind of thing. I did that a little bit with these seasons in the beginning, but in the last sort of 10 episodes, 10-15 episodes or so, I just kind of been taking my time with it and watching it like one at a time, one day at a time, and trying to stretch it out a bit, to be honest. But we'll see. Where fears come to life and the main monster. What's time? Oh, okay, yeah. I remember that. I is remembering that. It was like this tiny thing in the end. Fear me. It was like actual size. Oh, they did do something kind of odd though, with this season of Buffy, where they did an episode where they forgot everything, like Willow cast a spell and it caused everybody to forget everything. And when they woke up, they didn't know who they were, and Giles thought he was married to Anya, and you know, they thought they ran the shop together. And they had a scene where Giles is like making out with Anya, like they're kissing as husband and wife. And I just thought that was a bit of a weird thing to do, because like, okay, Anya is a 1,000-year-old demon. However, she's supposed to be in the body of somebody who's just finished high school. You're right. Like the age they are now, they're like maybe 1 or 2 years removed from high school. Like they're not, I mean, I guess they're technically adults, but they're not like, you know, big gal, big man, you know what I mean? They're not like there. And it's like, okay, because she's a 1,000-year-old demon, I guess technically she's much older than him. But they don't know that at that point. When they woke up, when they not know who they are, they just think they're regular people. So even though Anya's played by somebody in a, I don't know, I guess in a 25, 26 age, whatever. So in real life, it's fine that they do what they do. But as far as the show is concerned, is what I'm getting at now. As far as the episode is concerned, he's like, so I guess 40 something at this point, and she's supposed to be what, 17, 18, right? At that point in the show. So it's kind of like, yeah, that's a bit odd, man. That's a bit out there. That's a bit out there. He's not supposed to be looking at her like, hey, you're a grown up. You know, he's supposed to look at her like, oh, you're not much more than a child, you know? But I don't know. Buffy's done some weird things in the past, so I mean, the show Buffy's done some weird things in the past, so I guess it's par for the course, as they say. Roommate episode, which cafe would have stayed in the series, would it be needed along with Kendra? Yeah, man, they got rid of Kendra too soon, man. Way too soon. And they didn't even give her like a proper death either. They gave her like a crappy death. I mean, Drusilla's cool and all, and don't get me wrong, Drusilla's one of my favorite characters, but that was such a crappy death, man. Was it hypnotized and little cut on the neck? Like, is that it? Is that it? After all that, you just, and that was lame, man. The Kendra, if they're gonna kill off Kendra, at least do something better than that. You know what I mean? Like, let her go out fighting or something. Like, come on. Yeah, you see, yeah. She would have been about 21. Yeah, so at that, yeah, she's supposed to be about, I guess, that kind of age at that time. Which, yeah, I get it. You know, yes, you're an adult. I ain't saying it's like illegal or whatever. I'm just saying that, you know, she's not much more than a child at that point. And he's, especially when he's supposed to be like 40 something, maybe 50 something, I think, in the show. So it's like, look, I ain't saying it's wrong. Y'all do what y'all do. I'm just saying, in the context of that episode, yeah, come on. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely better to it was by Drew than some, like, I don't know, no-name vampire or something. That would have been a lot worse. But it's like, man, they could have had her like fighting back or something, man. As a kid first watching that wedding, I was like, shake my head. Xander, boy. Xander's a little too close to home for me, man. He's boy. I'm just saying, there's a lot of stuff that Xander goes through where I like, yep, I've done that. I've done that. I've done that. Yeah, that's happening to me. Yeah. Xander for me is the most relatable, but that's well, anyway. So yeah, it is Jeepers Creepers Reborn. If you have it, get it ready on 0. If you haven't already, we're going to start the movie in a moment or two. If you don't have it, it's all good because we'll watch along and have some fun. But yeah, Jeepers Creepers Reborn. It's Amazon or other platforms you can buy or rent it on if you want to do that. You don't have to do that, but if you want to, you can. Apparently, this is a very terrible movie, so I am looking forward to it. Ugh. Alright, I deserve a medal for not watching this and saving my first time game review. Oh, okay, well, in that case, how do I do this? One sec. How does this actually work? I think this is it. Is it working? I don't know if it's. I don't think that worked. Actually, I don't think that worked. Okay, let me try something else. I messaged you. I was about to watch it. I thought, hang on. I appreciate you, Sam. Waiting to watch with the group. I think I've got something for you, actually. Oh, here we go. All right, this should work. This should work. There you go. I think I meant to go to one of my barbers last weekend, but next time I'll go. Okay, you drew a snip. You drew a trim. All right, let me switch over to this screen. There's no subtitles on this one, so it's just this. But I'm gonna start the movie in a moment, so get ready. I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, then play. Ah, so good, Sam, so good. All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1, play. Let's watch this terrible movie together for the next 1 hour and 27 minutes. So how in need of a trim are you, Brax? Are we talking like just a little bit of a shape up? Or are we talking like you're gonna be there a while? You know what I mean? Like what are we talking here? By the way, if there's anything that happens that references a previous movie, I might need Sam or Brax to let me know what the context is. Did you see the trailer for the new Evil Dead movie? No, I did not see the trailer. But yes, Evil Dead Rises. I might need to brush up on my Evil Dead as well, because I ain't seen those for time. I think I saw the first one, and I know I've definitely seen Army of Darkness, because I watched Army of Darkness without realizing it was part of the Evil Dead series. And I watched that like 2-3 times when that came out. And then afterwards I realized it was part of the Evil Dead series, and I'm pretty sure I watched 1, maybe 2. But yeah, definitely gonna have to watch those again. I don't think anybody's driving that truck. Oh wait, somebody's driving the truck. Want to keep your eyes on the road there, buddy. Drill's amazing. I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah, is it directed by Sam Raimi? That's what I didn't see actually. I was meaning to look that up. This is playing off from the okay. That's the creeper. Okay, so it's not directed by Sam Raimi. It's a new guy, Lee Cronin. It's produced by him and the dude who plays Ash, Bruce Campbell. The dude who plays Ash. Come on now, Sam. Come on now, Sam. Yeah, Bruce Campbell is in every, well, I don't know about every movie, but certainly he's in a lot of movies. Maybe if not all of them, certainly most movies directed by Sam Raimi, you'll see Bruce Campbell in there somewhere, whether he's the lead role, a co-star, a minor role, or some cameo bit, walk on screen. But yeah, every film, or at least most films directed by Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell shows up somewhere. Brain fart. So it happens. It happens. That's probably the one thing about horror movies that I know. I think if we had a horror movie contest, you'd win easily. I haven't watched the movie in ages, to be honest. Yeah. What was the last movie you watched, Al? What was it and when was it? Yo, Jake's in the house. Little Jake's in the place. Wagwan, how you doing, man? Oh, this guy ain't done yet. Good, bro. Nice. What? I don't think you should be looking at what's going on with those sheets, dude. I think you should just keep driving. Just keep. Oh, they're good folk. Keep your eyes on the road, though. Imagine if they made a horror movie where everybody actually made smart choices. Like, that'd be the worst movie. I don't know. Maybe you could. Maybe you could. Could you? I don't know. What do you guys think? Could if they made them a horror? In fact, let's do a poll. We haven't done a poll for ages. You think so? But I tend to remember characters more than I do actors. Hey, what's up? Probably Terminator 3 a month ago. Terminator 3, mate. If that's the last movie you watched, then you definitely need to watch another movie because that's terrible. You can't have the last movie you watch be something terrible. I'm just saying. Watch another movie ASAP. Yo, what up, Frozen G? Need to get my heights of skin fade lined up. My hair grows back quick. I ain't looking like Black Wildebeest. Have you played Dead Space? I've played the original. The remake. Oh, wait. The remake's not even out yet, is it? But I played Dead Space 1, 2, and part of 3. Yo, what are they looking at? All right, that's my question. What's he doing? Drugs while driving? They are not driving that car. I mean, I know in movies they don't drive the car, but they are not driving that car. You know what I mean? Like in movies, they have like a tow. The car that is being towed. That's what they do, but they at least act like they're driving. These guys... These guys are not driving. Still Scary Sound of Silence on a different... Okay. Wait, isn't the remake out yet, though? I thought it was out not until like March or something. Oh, you played Dead Space 2. My bad. Okay. But yeah, those are 1 and 2 are good games. 3's pretty okay as well, but I never completed 3. Let's see some of that. Movies, no escape room. 1 and 2. So I might miss something. 2 similar movies to No Escape. Especially if you play with gaming. Okay, yeah, for sure. Me too. I like this movie. Even the third one. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3 are movies in this particular version. Oh, is she pregnant? Oh, the escape room movie has. Okay, I see. It's is very atmospheric to use no phones. Literally, ooh, that sounds nice. We need to play that. There's some thriller and horror in that, and the group has to use their prior knowledge and choose wisely. I see. And what, do they actually make sensible choices though? That space is better, I have to admit. I want to go from 9. Okay, how's that going? Yeah, Dead Space, the first Dead Space I really liked, and Dead Space 2 as well, I enjoyed. I feel like I want to complete 3 before the remake comes out, even though I probably won't get it on release. Oh, he's going to ask her to marry him. I got mixed reviews. Well, I mean, you can't really pay too much attention to reviews just because, like, oh, what's going on here? You can't really pay too much attention to reviews just because, like, I feel like you need to find a reviewer that you trust to actually give an honest opinion. Not necessarily they like the same things as you like, but they actually give honest opinions and not just telling you what they think people want to hear, or they're just disagreeing with something for the sake of disagreeing without actually having any points or agreeing with things because that's, you know what I mean? Like, there's too many of that these days, and I just feel like that's why yeah. Find a trustworthy reviewer and just kind of stick with those. What kind of demon angel thing is this, though? It'd be a horror movie if they made sensible choices. Well, could you make a horror movie where everybody makes sensible choices and still be a good movie? I don't know. Maybe. He was in Hollyoaks. Oh, what, the black guy? Or the demon angel thing? Oh, you spoke this guy on the phone with the fancy car. Oh, High on Life is pretty cool, actually. I'm still working my way through that, though. Yeah, they make sensible choices because they make it through. They have no choice but to make a smart choice. So if they make all the smart choices, that means nobody gets killed then. Like, nobody goes back to the haunted house, or nobody goes to check. You know what I mean? Like, or they shoot the bad guy in the head multiple times to make sure he's, you know what I mean? That's what I mean by making sensible choices. Like, they don't put themselves in dangerous situations when there's a dangerous killer out on the loose. Like, not going back to those kind of sensible choices is what I mean. Oh, while he's peeing as well. I mean, he's peeing in the bushes, so to be fair. You got No Escape Room 1 and 2 to your watch list. Both are some good movies for the brain. To be honest, if they're good movies for the brain, I mean, I might watch them, but I don't know if I'd want to watch them for movie night. Because if I have to concentrate on what's going on, it might not be a good movie to watch while reading the chat. And then I might be missing things, and then... So yeah, I might try and watch those, but they may not make it to the movie night watch list. But we'll see. We'll see. Black. Oh, okay. I'm guessing he spoke with a British accent when he was in Hollyoaks, though. He was probably from, like, Lancashire or something. Why did you send it back? I'm happy with that. I've got a Series X. Do remote play. I love my Steam Deck. I do want to get a Steam Deck, but I don't know. Maybe not now. Might have to go later. I'll do that later. Go back. Oh, for yeah. How's that working out? Linux has limitations. Well, I mean, it's Linux, so yeah. If you want something that's a bit more unrestricted, you go with Windows. Delivery, but I've heard good things. Smart Choice movie is a terrible movie. If they make smart choices, it's oh. Can't lie, didn't see that one coming. Is it better to have a Steam Deck? Might depend on like how your users. Like if you're more portable with your gaming, then maybe it's better to have a Steam Deck. But if not, then I don't know. Maybe not. No, just cheaper alternative. This girl looks familiar though. The shopkeeper. Looks like I've seen it before somewhere. Raise announced a Steam Deck killer. Well, that's everything's, of course. Anytime something's popular, there's always like the Steam Deck killer, the iPhone killer. Like, to be fair, everything's an iPhone killer because iPhones suck. But I'm more portable as well. I think I might stick with my Switch for now. My Switch might become my best travel companion. You might want to check out on your spare time so you can really pay attention. I won't give any spoilers. Yeah, if it's a clever movie like you're saying, then it might not be best to try and watch it while look at the chat and then missing things and then not getting it and then misunderstanding stuff. And so yeah, might get some time tomorrow. We'll see. Well, if I could find anywhere showing it, I might watch it. But if not, then well, we'll see. It was actually a decent actor in Hollywood, so I wouldn't think watching him in this. You know, it's funny because sometimes you can have actors who are, you know, good actors, but they're in films that have characters written in ways that make them look like bad actors, you know, or just the way they're being directed. They might look like bad actors, which kind of shows how good their acting is because they can act like bad actors. You know what I mean? But you don't know that when you're seeing them. If you've seen them for the first time, You only know it when maybe you see him with other stuff and you're like, oh, actually, this guy can pull off certain things. Steam Deck has had quite a few rivals, but still hold its own. I don't think anything's beaten the Switch just yet, though. Or I don't know. Is the Steam Deck really challenging the Switch? I mean, I guess in terms of like hardcore gaming, it probably does. But in terms of like sales and stuff like that, is it really challenging the Switch? Yeah, my Switch is gathering dust. For sure, Murphy. My Switch has been gathering dust for a while, but with this trip coming up, I might be using it a bit more. Which is long gone. We've got some great retro games. Yeah, Switch is definitely the king if you're looking for older games, like 90s, 80s games. Harley Quinn. Switch is good for exclusives, but third-party games performances on for sure. Anyway, so I'm in a couple of stores. Walmart was one of them. I wanted to use my Walmart gift card. Wish I'd known $20 was on it. I think Switch is way ahead in terms of sales. It's a completely different device. She got changed pretty quickly though. So YouTube have made some new changes to their guidelines where if you swear on your YouTube video in the first 8 seconds or show any run a video game, they say you can get instantly demonetized. Oh, we got Freddy Krueger. I've had my Switch since launch, but great over time. I mean, YouTube may always make changes to their terms and conditions about this, that, and the other. It's like, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't even bother trying to keep up with the stuff that gets changed. Oh, this gets demonetized, that doesn't get demonetized. You can't do this, so you can't. It's like whatever. You know. If I'm lucky, I might make like £3 a month from my YouTube videos. So I'm not bothered about something getting demonetized over. Oh, I said this word in the first 8. You know what I mean? It's like whatever. I feel like that stuff only matters to channels who are actually making money from their channels. Like, if you get to a point where you are like actually making a living from YouTube, then you want to pay more attention to those sorts of things and, you know, don't swear the first 8 seconds and this, that, and the other, or whatever it is. And I feel like for most other channels, it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Okay, over time. My Switch is great over time. Yeah, I've had my Switch, I think, not quite since launch, but pretty early on. Yeah, gonna have to watch part 2 again because it was buffering every few minutes. Oh, she got the COVID. Or was that an actual pregnancy test kit? I wouldn't know. I've never used one, so it looked like a COVID test result. I don't know, because someone is who's used a pregnancy test kit. Let me know if that's what they look like. If they look like the COVID test kits as well. It's available for the deck. You can download, switch titles to the deck. Yeah, but I mean, I don't really like to bother with like emulators and that kind of stuff. I mean, not that I don't have emulators, no, I wouldn't, but if I could avoid it, like if there's a legit option available, I'd rather go with that, because otherwise it just gets long. Do you like your Xbox? Yes, I do like my Xbox. I have the Xbox One, so it's the older Xbox, not the new one. But yeah, I like it. It's pretty cool. Even now, like with all the newer games out, it's still pretty cool, still pretty useful. There's women in bikinis, but they don't want enough swearing. Oh, that's a fake, isn't it? Of course it was a fake. Such perverts. You know, I'm not sure YouTube allow women in bikinis too much either, to be honest with you. Like, a lot of that stuff gets age-gated. And if it's age-gated, it doesn't get monetized. But it also relies a lot on things being reported, and let's be honest, who's reporting the woman in the bikini? You know what I mean? That's one way in. Stay in time, another stream, income, YouTuber, or other apps. YouTube can. Oh, okay. This guy's got. YouTube could definitely be a legit stream of income. You know, YouTube's not as easy as some people think. Oh, for sure. It's a lot. It's a lot. Really and truly, the best way to make a living from YouTube, or indeed any social platform, is once you've got any kind of following, like a large following, is to start looking at sponsorships. You know, if you're relying on things like ad revenue, you're constantly going to be at the decisions of YouTube and their advertisers and what they want to see and all that kind of stuff. You know, whereas if you could source your own, sponsorship, then you don't have to worry about that sort of thing as much, because you deal with people who understand your content. You said center. Once you start making a name for yourself on YouTube, you'll start to get envious of people trying to put you down. Start get envious people trying to put you down. Oh yeah. Some people just don't like to see a man happy. Yeah, that's pretty much accurate pregnancy test. So that, okay, cool. So the pregnancy test and the COVID test look pretty similar. Now we know. Now we know. We on the charge for over 4 months and even had a single payout. But I don't really care about making money. Dude, I just do it because I enjoy making vids. Yeah. I mean, once you decided that why you do it, yeah, don't even worry about the changes. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're either going to make money or you're not. You know, that's how I look at it. You're either going to make money or you're not. And if you make some money, great. If not, oh well. Haze knows. Well, I know a couple of things. You don't have any competition, so it's easy for them to do whatever they want. They have plenty of competition. I mean, well, depends how you define competition, but yeah, certainly things like TikTok is massive. Instagram is huge as well in a content creation. Even Twitter is looking at ways of how they can keep people on making things for them. So I mean, there is competition, but it just depends on how you define a competition. Like, in terms of what they do specifically, yeah, there's not anything else like it. But then it doesn't really need to be. And you have to remember, like, YouTube isn't necessarily sitting there going, well, how can we make everybody's life more difficult? They're at the mercy of people who advertise on their platform. YouTube goes away if nobody advertises on their platform. So if they have vast majority of their advertisers saying, look, we don't want to advertise on this, this, and this, and this, you know, swearing in the first 8 seconds or whatever it may be, then yeah, they're just gonna have to go with that, because if nobody advertises on their platform, the whole thing goes away. So yeah, it's just business when it comes down to it. You know, it's just business. And that's why it's like, if you are looking to, you know, make money or make a living of this or whatever, you cannot rely on advertising revenue. In fact, YouTube is the only platform, content creation platform, that gives out some advertising revenue. Everyone else either does something like a creator fund, or it's purely sponsorship, like on Instagram. I think actually Instagram might have a creator fund as well, maybe. But the point is, they're the only ones that are actually doing advertising revenue. So they're at the mercy of advertisers. And if advertisers don't want certain things, it just is what it is. There's not much you can do about that. You either conform or don't make any money from ad revenue. But ultimately, all it does is separate people who claim to be about being genuine versus people who are actually about being genuine. Because you'll see how many YouTube channels start switching up their style when those rules kick in. In fact, you'll see those channels change up their style every time YouTube has to make some kind of change to the terms and conditions. So in the end, it's like, if you're doing it for yourself, if you're doing it for the fun, if you don't care about the money, then don't even worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing. If you do care about the money, There you go. I might have to make some changes. Each has way too many restrictions. They need to have clear guidelines. The problem is that everything kind of depends on, well, not everything, but a lot of things kind of depend on kind of these very kind of nuanced areas, like no harassment, for example. It's like we all know what harassment is, right? We all understand what we mean by harassment. But then when she tries to define it in a legal term, it's like, well, what specifically is harassment? And it can get very kind of gray in a lot of places, whereas certain things are very clearly harassment, other things aren't so clear. And because like cultures are different, interpretations are different, it gets very difficult to legally define what specifically is going to count as harassment and what doesn't. So it just becomes this kind of gray area and say, okay, we know harassment, and you give these very kind of basic examples, but then you know that that's not it in its entirety. So yeah, it's ultimately just don't be an arsehole, really, what it comes down to. Don't be an arsehole. But even then, what specifically is that? The creeper in this is slightly different. It seems to be killing whoever originally he only kills you if you have something he wants to eat. So what I think I got from this one is that the first 3 movies in this version, in this Reborn, the first 3 movies were just movies based on the real life creeper, and this movie is the real life creeper coming back. I think that's what they were trying to get at in this. I guess it's like Scream and Stab. Kinda. Like a movie within a movie. So, Woody, what's the most you have made from a video? The most I've made from one video, I think is somewhere around 60 or 70 pounds. Maybe a little bit more. I'm not sure the exact amount because it was over a period of time. But that's the most I've made from one video. One video did very, very well for me. Put it that way. Most of my videos, I would say, if they make anything, it'd be in the pennies, like 3 pence, 5 pence, something like that. Maybe 10 pence if I'm lucky. But every now and then, one of my videos does really, really well, and it brings in a few quid. So I was like, oh, awesome. I can go get me a portion of chips. I was going to create do a Patreon, which I wouldn't do. I don't expect people to pay to watch any of my vids. I'll sit right with me. Patreon, I think, is fine if you have more than one person, like if you have a team. Otherwise, to me, it just seems like a lot of work. I mean, I don't know. People might look at things differently. I don't know. But for me personally, it feels like having to keep up with all the fulfillments and sending this and who gets that and who's it just feels like a lot of work for one person. But if you have like a team with you, and I guess if you're putting out content on a very regular basis, it might make sense to do something like a Patreon. But personally, I feel like, yeah, I don't know if I'd bother with that. Certainly, I will never say never, right? Never say never, but I don't think I'll be bothering that anytime soon, at least. I did set up a Patreon at one time, and then it kind of very quickly abandoned it. Most I've made is £14.68. Awesome. The food reviews, I guess I've done okay. The video actually that earned me the most amount of money was the what's it called? It's it's a reaction video of black guys not realizing the BGs were black. So somebody made a video compilation of black guy reaction channels reacting to the BGs, and then realizing that the BGs are white guys and not black guys, and capturing their reaction to that, like realizing that. And I did a video reacting to that compilation video, and that's my most popular video on this channel, by a long shot, by a margin, you know, like the nearest is down there somewhere. It's a huge gap. And if I was more money minded, I know why. Well, I have a good. I won't say I know why. I have a pretty good idea why that video did so well. And if I was more money minded, I would capitalize on that, you know, and do more videos like that. And I'm not saying that I never ever will, by the way. I'm not, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying I never ever will, but I'm just saying if I was more money minded, I'd be capitalizing on why that video did so well, and I probably would have made a lot more money doing that. But I'd rather not. I'd rather not. Like I say never. And quite frankly, the way things are going, I might need to become a sellout. You know what I mean? One day I might need to become a sellout and bring some of that extra money in. But for now, I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. But editing of videos must be a headache, Haze. It can be. I mean, I think for this channel, it's not so bad. I tend to do the videos I put on this channel tend to be very, very low editing for the most part. I either don't edit them at all, or it's very simple cut here, cut there type editing. I very rarely do anything more intricate than that on this channel. For the movie channel, though, however, that's a bit more polished. That can take a while for sure. In fact, the last video I just put up today on the movie channel is a 39-minute video talking about why Star Wars The Last Jedi is trash. That took a long time to edit. But I think I made a good video. I'm quite happy with how it turned out. I need to think more. Oh, you know what? I can't lie, man. I might have to. I might have to. I might have to sell out and just like get that money, man. If you start seeing me doing YouTube pranks, I'm just saying, don't be surprised. If you start seeing me doing videos like gold digger pranks, and you just don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. I wouldn't gripe at just under 15 quid. That's a pizza. Hey, for sure, you know, that's a, yeah, large pizza at that as well. So I'm just saying, you know. Did you make anything from your poem? I haven't made anything from any poetry videos actually. So no. competition for these nuts. Stack your bread and handle your business. Yeah, I might do that. Make a whole bunch of these nuts jokes, see how well they do. You know, BG's video go like over 300,000 views. You know, actually, I don't know. It probably, yeah. I don't always, I don't check the views, to be honest. I mean, after a while, I stopped looking at that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's probably more than that, or over that, or somewhere around that. But all I know is that it's my most paid out video. I don't know how many views it's got, but yeah, it's probably about that, maybe more. It's a lot about you as a person, though, to not do that. Yeah. Says when I take girls out, we go out to the local chicken shop. That's what it says about me. Man just got kill up. Come on, Haze, come to the dark side. Listen, I just might. I'm not even joking right now. I just might have to do that. I'm trying to think of ways I can sell out without selling out. If I could figure out a way I can make a whole bunch of money on YouTube without being too much of a sellout, trust, I'll be doing that. The day I figure that out, I'm doing it. I ain't even joking right now. The day I figure out how to be a sellout without being too much of a sellout. Careful sponsorships. I mean, of course, if you do any kind of deals, of course you got to check the contracts or whatever. But if you are doing YouTube like professionally and making a living out of it, you're better off getting sponsorships than relying on ad revenue. The thing is that I think a lot of times people try to get sponsorships too soon. And when you do that, you have to remember that they hold all the power in that kind of negotiation. You know, for example, I couldn't go to a sponsorship. Like, I couldn't go to Nike and be like, hey, Nike, sponsor me, give me £300,000 or whatever. They'd be like, no. Or if they are going to give me £300,000, the only way they're doing it is if I make a very specific type of video that they have carte blanche to decide exactly how it goes, what I say, what, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. I don't get to say, give me £300,000 and I'll make any kind of video I want. I don't have that kind of pull. So I feel like if you're going to do sponsorships, make sure that you have something you can negotiate with outside of just thinking that, oh yeah, I've got, you know, I've got a few followers, give me money. Because people get into these deals just for the sake of saying that they got a sponsor, and the deal is terrible. You know, they get into these terrible deals just for the sake of being able to say, I've got a sponsor, because that's like clout now. But the deal is terrible. They have no control, or next to no control, over their own videos. They don't get to decide when they put their videos out. They're very scripted. And you can see some of that stuff on YouTube sometimes, where it's just like, bruh, come on, what are you doing? You got a 5-minute video and 4 minutes of it is a sponsorship advert. The actual content is like a minute. It's like, bruh. Oh, this didn't go real well for her. Yo, what up, Andy? Appreciate you coming through. Just missed some of the chat. Let me try and catch up a little bit. People got things to do, bills, taxes to pay, and trying to have a comfortable lifestyle. And all serious, I can understand why you're reluctant to sell out. You have to be yourself. Instead of putting up, oh, exactly, and it's tiring doing that kind of stuff. Like, it's actually exhausting, constantly pretending to be somebody else or being a version of yourself that isn't natural to you. It's exhausting because I know that firsthand because I've tried doing it. It's actually mentally exhausting. That's one of the reasons you get burnout and that kind of stuff. The screen video was really good. You made some points. Wow, actually being funny. I appreciate that, Sam. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you guys haven't already, make sure you check out my movie channel. Don't show nuts on your channel if YouTube didn't like feed. They don't go to like nuts. What, peanuts? Almond nuts? What are we talking about? You gotta spam renounce. Nah. One of the black people. Who fought the PGs? Probably called well, Anastasia, but black. You should put up a reaction video, see how that does. Nothing wrong with a chicken shop. That's what I'm saying, though. Ain't nothing wrong with a chicken shop date. That should be standard. No dog, no cap. I think for sure they got it. Apparently, a lot of black folk thought they were black, and I think I kind of get why. I mean, for myself, I've known about the BGs from like time ago, so it was never a surprise for me. But I think I know how it happens, you know. But it's still funny though. It's still funny. Oh, Creeper got the girl. Let me talk about how this absolutely looks like a fake cemetery. It looks way too polished, doesn't it? It looks way too polished. That's probably what they spent the entire budget on, and just like making it look polished. What you're saying, you have rags VGs were like the British equivalent to Earth in the Fire. Was supposed to ship in each video. You have to promote their products before you get your video that you originally set out to record. I mean, a lot of that depends on the specifics of the deal, whether you do it at the beginning, do it in the middle, do it at the end, and this and the other. But yeah, if you're coming to a sponsorship, trying to get a sponsorship deal with no you have no pull, then they decide when you mention it, whether at the beginning, middle, or end, and they decide how big the logo on the screen is. They decide what you say. They decide what type of video you can put it on. They decide other things you get to say in the video, even in your own actual content. They decide whether you use this word or that word. You know, and that's the problem if you go too early. Like, I feel like some people go to these sponsors, try to get sponsorship deals too early, and they get these terrible deals out of it. Whereas if you go in when they come to you, you know, when people actually reach out to you and say, hey, we've got this product, we'd like you to sponsor you about, whatever, then you can set the terms. I mean, there's limits to the terms you can set, of course. Ain't nobody going to give you like £10 million for like nonsense. But, you know what I mean? You have more control over what you can say and how the video is in those cases. And that, by the way, that's actually one of the reasons why a lot of times people do things like Patreon, because it means they don't even have to worry about sponsorships and having to conform to what they want and that kind of thing. You just have your audience who get you, and they'll donate, you know, whatever they can afford, and you can keep your content completely to your liking without having to worry about all that kind of stuff. So that's the kind of appeal of things like Patreon. If you're funded completely by the people who like your content exactly how you're making it, then you can just keep doing it how you're doing it. Based in Australia, but originally from England. Yeah, BGs are originally from the UK, yes, and then I think they got their break in Australia, I believe. Oh, this ain't gonna go well for them, is it? You're not whistling through those teeth. BGs are whiter than me. UK to Australia. Thanks, I didn't know that. I remember that from this interview with Crime Medicine when the BGs. Oh yeah. Like Alan Wolf was, folks. Johnny Cash. I wanted it. He decided their names for our skin tones. Are they colorblind? Yeah, it is a. Oh, look at that. Man was ripping his own arm, you know. Race is a social construct. It doesn't exist. Not even. They're not even named the right color, so it's like whoever made it up, either colorblind or stupid. Maybe both. Okay, so he eats the arm and he gets an arm. Oh. The channel is way too small to start receiving sponsorships. Not necessarily, actually, but it's not just about size, but also about things like which area you are targeting. Like, you could be targeting a very specific area of the internet, which might be 1,000 people in total, right? And if all those 1,000 people are coming to your channel, you've done very well. But I mean, if you're doing reaction videos, then that's quite a bit broad. So yeah, maybe not. maybe not. Maybe not just yet. It's funny. I was doing accents. Are they still alive? 2 of them have passed away. I think what? Well, there's 3 in total in it. So yeah, 1 of them's still alive, but 2 of them have passed away. Very good. Their sister. Yes, I've never met an actual black person or a white person. Races white, so centuries past made that up. We may have just ended racism, you know. If only it was that simple, eh? If only. But at least we're doing okay in this chat room. It turns out dumb. Indeed. Ain't that the truth? I don't even know the BG's rule system. Yeah, BG's the Brothers Gibb. As in BG. But that's, well, now you know. Now you know. There's somewhere in Florida. Night fever, night fever. But with that video that I did, there was a few comments. Well, not even a few. There was quite a few comments of people saying things like how it's stupid that they didn't know they were white, and there's no excuse for ignorance and this, that, and the other. But the thing is, like, I feel like a lot of times people are a bit unaware of stuff in terms of, like, when you come across a song or you come across a movie or whatever it is you come across, you don't always look up the singer. You know what I mean? You don't. Like, we don't always look up the singer that when we hear a song. If you hear a song on the radio or you hear it on a movie or whatever, you don't necessarily always look up who the singer is and what they do and when they start. And especially like when you took about a song you heard in a movie from like 30 years ago or something, you're most likely not always going to look up who the singer is. Maybe sometimes you do, but most times you don't, right? So you generally have an image in your mind of what somebody might look like. And that's just how we are naturally. We generally have images in our mind. Not like we consciously do it, but we kind of subconsciously have just a kind of image in our mind. And that image could be based on all kinds of things, you know, the way they sound, the type of film it is, the type of advert it was, this, that, and the other. And then when you see them in real, what they look like, you're like, oh, you know, because it's just different from that subconscious thoughts. And I think we all do that on some level. It's not because you're silly. It's just a natural thing that people do. But Barry Gibbs wearing a headpiece because you see anybody's hair. That's our slogan. No one is black, no one is white, but you're all stupid. Very good. Will never embrace baldness. But will baldness embrace him? They're black because they have that distinct sound and voice. Vocals that black particularly are known to have. He shouldn't takes care of himself as he should. Don't even look like he's in his 70s. Oof. Oh, bear trap. Now that's gotta hurt bad. See, if you made a sensible choice, that wouldn't have happened. They wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't have a movie. I'm just saying. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible, but a horror movie where everybody makes sensible choices, I'm not too sure, you know. I'm not too sure. Maybe it's possible. Maybe I just can't think of how a horror movie where everybody makes sensible choices works. Well, I don't know what the next thing is, in my opinion. Christina Aguilera. That's what she's my voice on my GPS. I'll catch on Jacob, then I'll be accused of being racist. Well, if you do ever get accused of being racist, I'm going to tell you now, I will not be bailing you out. I'm just saying, I will not be bailing you out. I'm trying to hold on to my black cred by a thread. Like I've got about this much left. I will not be bailing you out. my black card is already in jeopardy. It's like I'm holding like by a tiny thread. So yeah, I'm just letting you know now. If you ever anybody gets accused of racism, I will not be bailing them out. I'm just letting you know now. I can't afford it. I can't. I'm just this close. I'm this close. Let's see, Black Americans saying, not saying, thanks deep from that inner core, feel me and raps. Sangs. Ooh, damn. I can't lie, that was a cool kill. Axe at the back of the head. Raw. And for that, I'm keeping my next movie to myself and watching it solo. Ah, damn it. Shouldn't have said nothing. I should just let you get accused and just be like, yeah, that's that about. Not me though, I don't see it. As a kid before I saw she looked, I just already knew she was white when I got older. I learned she had some Latina in her. Who's Aguilera? Hey, he's gonna invoke your black card. I mean, no, I'm just kind of playing a little bit. But back when I was in school, though, you know, did these get like the teasing because, you know, I was pretty much the only black guy there that listened to heavy metal, or at least the only black guy that openly listened to heavy metal. So I did get the teasing back then and you know, that kind of thing. But nah. That whole black card thing is dumb, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, I get it as a joke, right? Fine, it's a joke, blah, 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 whatever. But when people get too serious with it, it's like, come on. I feel like there's some people who really buy into this idea of, you know, black people aren't supposed to do certain things, whether that's listen to certain types of music or, you know, go to certain types of places or whatever it may be. And some people really kind of buy into that idea, and it's just sad. Like you can listen to what you want, do what you want, have fun with it. You know what I mean? It's we're not a monolith of hive mind thinkers that all have to do exactly the same thing and could only listen to one style of music and can only wear one style of, you know, it gets silly. But some people really do buy into that idea. You know, for somebody who eats people, he's kind of in good shape, to be honest with you. He's gonna eat the brain, fresh. Was he gonna grow a brain now? I'm not sure he's even eating it. He's just kind of like scraping his teeth with it. Jacob, lucky for me, I don't care about people's opinions. I don't know. Yeah. Soldiers, R&B, rock, all first started with the blues. Respect to that for the society to the table type of question. Yeah, just a little as I know that they are the progenitors of nearly every genre of music currently. That's why it's culture purpose stupid. Really gives should just be you, and if you can't be you, those are people you don't need in your life. Yeah, be yourself. Unless you can be Batman, then be Batman. That's pretty much my motto. But yeah, I mean the roots of music go back to all kinds of things that by now I mean you always hear stories about, you know, with how, you know, Mozart apparently inspired by this person and who was a black artist, or and there's things like that. And is it true? Is it not true? Maybe, maybe not. There's rumors about Shakespeare as well. It's like, I mean, plagiarism is a thing that's been going around a long time. And back then it was probably a lot worse. So who knows? There could be truth to these things. Wrong with this heavy metal music. You know what? I kind of wish that I didn't listen to heavy metal music back when I was in school, because then I could be like at one of those reaction channels, like black guy listens to heavy metal music for the first time, and then, man, you see how popular some of those channels are. I'm like, bloody hell, man, bloody hell. Started as early as 9:30s, 40s, starting with scatting. Feel free, brother. That's your young ass. Acting like your music is. Forget Callaway, the King of Scat, Ella Fitzgerald, Queen of Scat. Sister Rosetta for her. She did rock and roll, soul, gospel, cool ass guitar. Yeah, massive about Cab Calloway. Now, Cab Calloway was like 1930s, like 1920s, 1930s. Howdy, 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 howdy. Odi, 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 odi. Odi, 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 odi. Odi, 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 odi. And Ella Fitzgerald's legendary. Like her version of Bewildered, Bewitched, Bewildered, and Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered. Stage. Oh, they're gonna see if they can catch the creeper. See, if they were making sensible choices, they'll get out of the house. But then you'd have a I mean, this movie's not exactly brilliant for sure, but you'd have a far worse movie if they were making sensible choices, I think. But to be fair though, this movie's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like, I was expecting this movie to be absolutely nonsense. And maybe I'm not sure I've missed some bits, you know, from you know, trying to keep in the chat, but from what I can get of it, it ain't as bad as I thought it could have. I thought it was gonna be. Like, it has definitely has a few cool kills in there. Accent seems a bit off though. Can't lie though. A lot of the acting seems a bit. Scooby is actually quite an enjoyable movie. Rock from those who came before, so them right black people. Ooh. Yeah, tried to fight the creeper, of course. Rock out if they want to. Over time, it became more of an interest and dominated by whites, but I know the history. I haven't seen the sequels. The first one. This one is Jacob. I'm checking some heavy metal bands. Oh, this guy's gonna... Is he... Oh, wait. So the creeper feels pain. Got him. I'm checking some heavy metal bands that I've never heard of before from different countries, and they're really good, which definitely surprised me. What surprised you that they're good? I don't know. Like, what was you expecting it to be? They're actually good. That's probably a really good thing by the sounds of it. Into journalism, Alabama people have also influenced that. Obviously, there's Alabama's with back members, all the whole being back. And kind of suck it because you ain't missing much. The cheapest group is based on an urban legend or something. It could be. I think quite a few horror movies are based on some urban legend from some middle American town or something. Why does this house look like it was made yesterday or something? Like, I swear it's supposed to be. It looks like they made it yesterday and it just hasn't been used, and they tried to make it look like an old house, and it just isn't. Excuse me. Step him in the neck. Oh, she took his eyes out. Finish him off, come on. Man, whoever did the special effects, green screen, or whatever in this movie. They clearly worked for Marvel. Oh, and I need to get down. Right there first. Someone tells Judas Priest. There's unlocking the truth. It's going to connect, etc. Back. I'm sure it's going to check. I'll have to look it up. Straight and Stitch and plenty more. Yeah, but that's the kind of thing though, because CGI battle. Oh, well, they got him. But yeah, that's kind of thing though, Brax. It was like the same niggas who would like laugh at you for listening to heavy metal are the same niggas who would be like on the internet talking about why NWA should be inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? It's like they would clown you for listening to something, but then when it gets any kind of recognition from mainstream mainstream press or mainstream like eyes or whatever, then it's like, oh yeah, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good. It's like, please shut your mouth, man. And by the way, I'm all for NWA being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That is definitely a good move. I'm just saying, it's that when people are clowning you for listening to heavy metal or listening to rock music and this, that, and the other, but as soon as something happens, that's when they'd be like, oh yeah, because black people invented rock music. Is like, oh, shut up, man. Like, you went there. It's just there for the they're there for the highlights, you know, there for when like for the accolades. But when it's like people who trying to support it, people trying to just listen to good music, that's when they want to clown you and say, oh yeah, you ain't black, yeah, revoke your black card. He got reborn again. Well, that was Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Yo, what up, Ben? That was Jeepers Creepers Reborn, just finished. You know what? I will say that it was better than I thought it would be, but then when you hear a movie's going to be complete trash, you kind of have low expectations. But you know, has some for what it was. It had some decent kills. I would say I'll give it that. It had some decent kills. I guess it had a pretty okay storyline, you know. Where it definitely drops the ball is who the acting style didn't seem to suit the film for the most part. Definitely the special effects did not suit the film at all. But you know what? It had some cool moments. I can't lie. It had some exactly. It had a few good kills at least. It's like, you know what? They did all right. They did all right. So yeah, I'll rate this movie 3 creepers out of Jeepers. I don't know. I mean, for £2.99, I think it was a decent purchase. I can't be too mad at this. I paid £2.99 to buy this through Amazon. I'm not mad at this purchase. I'm not mad at this purchase. I mean, it's $2.99, so it's like, bruh. They lying. I'm for it too. And guess what, though? Yo, what film has everyone watched so far this year? Well, what films have we watched so far this year? Well, for movie night, we watched Halloween 2, and just now we just watched Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Outside of that, I don't know. What films have I watched this year? I'm not sure I watched too many movies outside of the... I mean, I think I watched Encanto again on New Year's Day, and also Everything Everywhere All at Once again on New Year's Day. I think that was on New Year's Day. I think. I don't remember. But, yeah, I think really for this year so far for me anyway, it's been Halloween 2 from 2009 Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie Halloween 2, and then just this one, Jeepers Creepers Reborn. What about yourself, Ben? What movies have you watched this year? Let me index it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There was a few good kills at least. Eminem got Dusty Rock and Raw with Fame 2 months ago. That can actually act. Just not in this. He definitely needs to work on the accent. The black guy. So those Sam was talking about might be getting accused of racism, yeah? That black can actually act. Oh, mate. Yeah, it's alright. It's alright, Sam. I know what you meant. I know what you meant. But if I didn't know what you meant though, like if I was like if I didn't know you, I just read that black can actually act. Like I said, I would not be defending you. I will not be bailing you out. So, you know. Oh, mate. They ain't have very much anymore. There's black people reacting to rock, country, opera, symphony, etc. And ish that was viewed as corny, weird, lame, white years 2 decades ago. Yeah, but I feel like one of the reasons why those channels get really popular, you know, the black guy listens to, reacts to heavy metal, black guy reacts to, you know, opera, whatever it is. I think one of the reasons why those channels get popular is because there is still that perception that black people don't listen to this kind of music, which is not true. You know, like even back in the 90s when, you know, I was listening to sort of more heavy metal, like I might have been the only one in my school that would admit it, or the only black guy in my school that would admit it, that was just heavy metal. But certainly when I went out to like, you know, say like heavy metal, like venues and stuff like that, and, you know, go a bit more into uni, which is like late 90s, you see plenty of black guys in those circles. You see plenty, like, I mean, granted, you know, mostly white for sure. I ain't trying to say that. But it wasn't like a surprise, you know what I mean, to see a black guy at those things. So the perception has never been the reality. But because that still perception, when it comes to the YouTube space, those videos kind of get popular, you know. But hey, you know what? Hey, fair play to them. I mean, they're doing their thing, taking advantage of a perception that isn't accurate. But hey, I ain't mad at it. If you haven't seen it yet, this is anyone I recommend. X, that was a surprisingly good film. X, there's a film called X. People are out here wearing old school rock band tees and hoodies. Nice. Watching the following. Have you seen any of them? Kiss the Girls, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Son of the Desert, Clash by Night, and The Fallen. No, I don't believe I've seen any of those actually. I don't think I have. All from the well, not all from the 80s and 90s, but yeah. Okay. No, all old school film stuff, but no, I don't think I've seen any of those. I don't know his name. That's so good. That sounded bad. Man, from when he was in Hollyoaks. I started watching Hollyoaks after Neighbours ended. Is Hollyoaks worth watching? I remember watching a little bit of it when it started. I watched like the first maybe 2 or 3 episodes and then never after that again. Thank you for coming up. Wasn't seen as cool. For sure. As people assume that, alright. Painful only listen to gangster rap for nothing else. Not quite that, I'd say, Al. But certainly certain types of music people tend to assume, or not assume, maybe don't really get associated. And like, for example, back in when I was in school, and I guess it's probably still a little bit like this now, to be fair, but certainly back when I was in school, like the perception was if you're a black guy, you listen to, you know, R&B, hip hop, jungle was pretty big at the time, house maybe a little bit. So there was still a range of different styles of music that were common amongst, say, black folk, but when it came to more, say, what was considered white music, so things like heavy metal or classical opera, you know, stuff like that. You know, if you said you listen to that as a black guy, you'd probably get teased or laughed at, or, you know, that kind of thing. Which is probably why not too many people admitted it. You know, it's probably why not too many people admitted it. So that people are rocking and rock well, and some gospel entrance too. The dude who played Mitchell and Hollyoaks, he married Scott. Was in this movie. He was good in Hollyoaks, not in this. I haven't watched Hollyoaks in a while, but to be honest, when it's good, it's really good. It can get a bit meh though. The group Freaks has hip hop in their music too. Yeah, they did a track with who was it? Not Run DMC. Public Enemy. Yeah, Anthrax did a track with Public Enemy. So yeah, you like back in like sort of 80s, 90s, like heavy metal and rap was mixing that up. Like you had Anthrax and Public Enemy. You had Run DMC did a track with Aerosmith. You know, so even like it's not even new. You know what I mean? It's not even like a new thing. It's like it's been happening a good while, but even still, for whatever reason, that perception is still kind of there. But that perception is not the reality. Like there's plenty of people listen to all kinds of different music. It goes way harder than rap, just saying. Well, I mean, that might depend on which heavy metal song or which rap song we're talking about. Yeah, look him up. Like hip hop metal artist. That was Walk This Way. Aerosmith from DMC. Yeah, that's the one. Walk This Way. Yeah, I think that's true for many soaps. In fairness, they have some characters called Eric in the show at the moment, which has made a must-watch. Hollyoaks. So I'm guessing Hollyoaks is actually still on TV. Slipknot, yeah, for sure. They got that scratch DJ in there. That's the most album music in a while. Rap is very like mainstream now, though, isn't it? Like, you know, I think rap's been very mainstream for a good while as well, like for at least like 10 years, maybe even more. But rap is very, very mainstream. Like it is very much the popular music. Maybe not the, I don't want to say it's the most popular music. I mean, like you might need somebody who actually studies these things to answer that kind of question. But it does feel like rap it is, if not the most popular, amongst the most popular forms of music right now. So it's not like, say, back in like 80s, 90s, rap was popular, but it was still very kind of like subculture. Whereas maybe from around about, I think from around about 2000s, it started to become a bit more and more, certainly by around 2010 onwards. I reckon rap's been pretty like mainstream type popular by now. Beats that are used in rap come from rock, metal music, as well as works really well, which is cool. Yeah, for sure. Bits of Eric and he needs the conversation with Jordan Peterson. We'll slow him out. Yeah, so some of the rock bands she liked was 9 Inch Nails from her older brother Rashad. Leah, rest in peace. Legendary singer, legendary, amazing singer. Now, more accessible back in the day when hip hop first started. It was most hated genre in the world. Yeah, that was more sort of like when you got to maybe like 80s when like NWA, you know, bands like NWA, Ice-T, start becoming more popular. That's when gangster rap started to become more popular as well, and it was very much like, well, it was, I guess, even now really, but certainly back then it was very controversial. You know, I think it was Ice-T that had Cop Killer, and NWA had a song, you know, F the Police. So you might imagine not everybody was on board with those lyrics. Yeah, but that song, What If There's a Rockin' Man, one of my favorites from her. But yeah, her first album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Wait, is that what it's called? That is what it's called, isn't it? Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. But yeah, her first album, it's an incredible album. Till this day, it's an incredible album. But it's a shame who's involved with that, because it really does taints the listening experience when you know, if you listen to it now, knowing what happened and that whole thing. It's but yeah, that album's incredible. Like, all their albums are great, of course, but yeah, it's called AJ Number 9 was the first album. That was correct, yeah, and from 1994, and then One in a Million from 1996, and then the last album, 2001, Aaliyah, or the Red Album, as it's known. Did you ever see The Voyeurs 2021? It stars Sydney Sweeney and it has Ben Hardy, who played Peter Beale in EastEnders. Always strange seeing people from UK soaps and mainstream films. No, I've not seen The Voyeurs. But speaking of people from UK soaps in mainstream movies, this guy, I don't know if you can see him. That's Scott Adkins. You'll see him in a bunch of movies, including things like, he's in, I think, the first Doctor Strange movie. He's in, I think, the first Expendables movie, or what might have been the second one of the Expendables movies. And he's in this movie called Ninja, which is really not very good, but yeah, whoever watch if you like crappy martial arts movies. But yeah, he did a few episodes of EastEnders back in the day, which I have not seen. I was not watching the EastEnders back then, or if I was, I didn't notice him. But apparently, yeah, he started out in EastEnders and now he does martial arts movies. So yeah, including a few big ones. Cheers, I wasn't aware of that. It's all good. It's so good, it's alright. It's a way of a decent film. Well, that sounds like a treat, so what, doesn't it? The Voyeurs. Is it something to do with watching people, I guess? It's actually available. Oh, it's an Amazon movie. Okay. It is actually an Amazon movie. Yeah, Sydney Sweeney, Justice Smith, Ben Hardy. It's an Amazon original. So it's available on Amazon Prime if you have Amazon Prime. Well, so, but James McAvoy started out in Shameless. Yeah. I've never watched it, but yeah. James McAvoy's done some good movies. Smile Until I Die, Has Rock, 36 Mafia, Lolly Has Rock. I think Shop Boys, Party Like a Rockstar, Ludacris, I'm a Rockstar, Michael Jackson, Data Yana, Need Like One Dog. Oh, there's plenty. There's plenty. Like I said, it's not new. You know, it's just the perception still exists, but it's not new, you know? But James McAvoy did a film called Split, which is the sequel to Unbreakable. And that's a good movie. That is a movie. And there's a third one called Mr. Glass, or maybe it's just called Glass. I've not seen that one yet. But Unbreakable's pretty good, but Split was, and James McAvoy, the way he just like goes between these different dude, yo, man, like James McAvoy. A young couple who spy on and become obsessed by the lives of their neighbors across the street. Worth a watch if you get the chance. Let me add that to my watch list. It was actually, yeah, for sure, man. It's a good film, and he did, yeah. Beyonce's Lemonade, one of their songs has rocking it. I think Beyonce has quite a bit of rocking, has rocking quite a few of her songs actually. Not Frank Gallagher. Oh, it's that Shameless dude. Yeah, okay. Shameless. Speaking of movies, though, there's a channel that I've recently come across on YouTube, and it's a guy. I think his name's Alan Sai. I think. Let me just double check that real quick. But he does these videos where he it's all like movie trivia, like did you know such and such and such and such from a film, and it's really interesting stuff if you like movies and if you like trivia. Let me see if I got the right channel. Yeah, Alan Sai, ALLENTSAI. Yeah, ALLENTSI. Let me give you guys a link. But yeah, if you like movie trivia, then that's a really cool channel to check out. Alan Sai. I like movie trivia, clearly, so that's why I'm recommending it. Alright, let's check out this poll real quick. So, cheers, we'll sub now. Awesome. So the question was, would a horror movie where everyone made sensible choices be awesome or terrible? Just subbed. Awesome. Oh well, it's awesome that you subbed. But would a horror movie where everyone made sensible choices be awesome or terrible? 40% of you said it would be awesome. 60% of you said it would be terrible. I can't lie. I feel like I'm leaning more towards the terrible in this case. I feel like if everybody was making sensible choices throughout the movie, you'd most likely have a terrible movie. Now, I'm not gonna say definitely, because I don't know, maybe it's possible to make a great horror movie, an awesome horror movie where people do actually make sensible choices throughout the movie. Maybe. I don't want to say never say never, right? Maybe I just can't think of how it would work. But I would say right now, I feel like if you made a horror movie, specifically a horror movie where everybody was actually making sensible choices, it would probably be terrible. Because for one thing, nobody would go anywhere near the killer. They would all make the sensible choice of getting as far away as possible. And they just don't have a movie. So yeah, I feel like you're probably going to have a very crappy movie. if everybody actually made sensible choices in the film. But hey, I'm open to be proven wrong, but I'm leaning towards the terrible. Alan voted terrible. Has there ever been a horror movie where someone being chased hasn't tripped over multiple times? Right, exactly. It's like if you like was to make a sensible choice in that circumstance. I mean, running away, I guess, is a sensible choice. Maybe watch where you're going while you're running away, though. You know, like maybe like don't keep turning back while running away. Like actually look where you're going, so you can know to jump over the tripwire or whatever it is, you know. Let's do a movie channel where I voice my opinions on movies, but movies fans are toxic. Oh, for real, some can be, some more so than others, but yeah. But hey, if you want to do it, don't let them toxic assholes stop you. Awesome, you don't like horror movies. Music fans can be toxic too, like night with trends. Yeah, I feel like the internet's just full of all that nonsense. As I saw Ice-T put this on his Twitter once, and I agree with this, where he said, the internet has made people get too comfortable with the idea of talking shit and not getting smacked. You know what I mean? And I'm not suggesting, I'm not advocating violence. I'm not saying that. But come on, like the type of things that people be putting on the internet would absolutely get you smacked up in real life. And I think the internet and its safety that it provides has gotten people too comfortable where they feel like they can just say whatever they want and ain't nothing gonna happen to them. And let's be real, nothing gonna happen to them, right? So your channel apart from Haze is the community on here. Thanks, Ben. I think we have a pretty decent community. You know, we have a pretty decent bunch of people that come here on a regular basis. I think we do all right. It might not be a big community, but we got some cool people in here. Well, most of you are cool. I'm just saying. Some of you have questionable opinions on Die Hard. I'm just saying. I keyed. But you know, yeah, I think you guys that, you know, we might not be a big community, but yeah, I think it's we got a cool bunch of people coming here, so yeah. Well, that was shit. You know what? I had that could be a cool idea, because I had an idea once where it was something like one-word movie reviews, and I think I did a few videos like that. It was like back in was it one word? Wait a minute, I might be misremembering. It might have been no-word movie reviews, actually. I think it was actually, no, it was no-word movie reviews. But this was like back when Vine was a thing. You remember Vine? And it was just like me doing facial expressions to describe what I felt of a movie. And I don't know, maybe the one word thing can work. I'm just saying, maybe. The no word thing didn't quite work for me, but hey, maybe one word movie reviews could work for you. But I don't know, maybe I'll try bringing that back. No word movie reviews. I might try and bring that back. It was kind of fun doing it. You have to guess what I thought of the movie based completely on my facial expression. I might try and bring that back. I thought that was Mike Tyson. I mean, it could be. I mean, maybe that's where IC got it from, but I saw, yeah, I saw IC say so. Yeah. I'm only playing Sam. You know I love you. Just do an eye roll. Hey, some movies need that eye roll. I could think of a few movies that would definitely get an eye roll. That would be my review. I could think of a few movies where the review would just be that'd be it. Every now and then a movie would get a good smile. Would earn the smile. Some movies just get the confused look. Oh. Yeah. Oh man. Reference when he said how you caught that. Oh. All right. How can I make money on YouTube? I need to set out. So here's the thing, like I do, you know, well, I think most, if not all, you guys know that I do the cab work. If you don't know, now you know. I drive a cab. That's how I pay for all this luxury that I live in by cab driving. And you know, I like it. You know, it's good work. It's decent work. It's very flexible. You know, it suits how I like to live. So it's all good. But here's something that the pandemic has taught me. I guess it's something that you know already, but it certainly was highlighted during the pandemic, which is the fact that even if you do everything right, through no fault of your own, or even if it is your fault, like it could be just one mistake. The point I'm making is that we are all pretty much like one, maybe 2 steps away from being homeless. You know what I mean? Like, it's one bad decision, one silly mistake, or something like the pandemic that's just completely out of your control. But I feel like a lot of us, maybe even all of us, are pretty much 1 or 2 steps away from being homeless at any one time, and we don't always realize that. And so it has got me thinking, like, okay, so if something happens and I can't do the cab work no more, what do I do, right? And there are options, you know. I do feel like I have options. That being said, they're not really good options. You know, they're not things that I would want to do. They're things that I would do if I have to, but they're not things that I would want to do. So in terms of things that I would want to do, that's where it's like the options are very, very, you know. So it has got me thinking about, okay, YouTube. I like doing YouTube, and I've said this before. It'd be great to get to a point where you can do YouTube and make money from it, but I never want to feel like I'm focusing on making money on YouTube, because yeah, I don't want to create content that doesn't have any, you know, soul to it, or any kind of, I don't know if soul's the right word to use, but I don't want to create content that doesn't have any kind of integrity to it. You know, I don't just put stuff out there when I don't even feel like it because I feel like I have to. You know, I don't want to do that. That being said, like I was saying before, like, is there something you can do or something I can do where it doesn't feel like I'm compromising integrity and I can make money out of it? I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about this. I'm gonna have to think about that. So, but yeah, if you guys have any ideas of how I can sell out and make some money out of this damn YouTube thing, then yeah, let me know. Let me know. I might need to set up an OnlyFans. If I was to set up an OnlyFans, who would subscribe to it? That's I might have to do it for my next poll actually. If I set up an OnlyFans account, who's subscribing? Based on how many people subscribe and what kind of money you'd be willing to pay, I might actually go do it. Because we all need a safety net. You know what I mean? We all need a safety net. So who's subbing to my OnlyFans? About 11 years ago, a family member on my mother's side to me. He likes how I wasn't usually into what black kids was usually into. You just gotta do your own thing, innit? You know? Figure out who you are, what you like, what you don't like. Be open, you know? I think that's the main thing, just be open. You don't have to, you're not gonna get everything, you're not gonna like everything, but just be open. You don't love me, you don't even like me. I see the in your eyes. Is it pouring out? That's not venom, Sam. Those are tears. Tears of joy. Or tears of laughter, like the laughter emoji you just put up. That's what they are. I know how not to make money on YouTube if you don't show your feet. I got chance to a cafe last year. It sounds like a lot of long shifts. I mean, it depends on how you do it. I mean, I generally don't do long shifts, but then I probably don't make as much money as some other cabbies, to be fair. So there's that. I mean, I do it in a way that suits me. I think like the money I make, I feel like I do okay with it. You know, my bills are paid and I've got cash left over, so I'm good. You know what I mean? You could do lots of long shifts. I don't want to do that. I don't want to live like that. You know, it's tiring. It's dangerous. You know, driving while tired is not a good idea. And also, I feel like once you start getting into that, you kind of forget the reason why you even do it in the first place, which is to, you know, you should be working to live, working to enjoy life, not living to just work. You know what I mean? Like it kind of defeats the purpose if you just spend all day driving around making a bunch of money that you're not going to do anything with. So it's like there needs to be a balance. I mean, you can do long shifts, but yeah, I don't. Like, even if I do a full day of like cab work, I'm still trying to make time to do other things. Like, I take long breaks. You know, when I take breaks, I'm taking breaks for at least an hour, 2 hours. You know, I'm trying to do other things. You know what I mean? I'm not just trying to be on the road driving. But yeah, you're right. Some people do it like that, and but that's not me. That is not me. I like to enjoy life. I like to sit in coffee shops and watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You know, that's what I'm doing. A lot of homeless people are a victim of their circumstances. Most of us are probably a few paychecks away from being right. Yeah, exactly. What about the movie we're making? You know, if that movie ever actually got made, it'd probably make like £5, and that'd probably be me buying it twice. So if you get nasty with a chainsaw, oof, okay, I think I can do that. I need to get a chainsaw though. I'm gonna have to steal one. But little he knew I was into black people. I was into what black people are into. I just like to put together my own style because I mix with goth, hip hop, Rock even. Drop your clothes. I'll show my rocket edge. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's not necessarily like trying to not be like other black people. Like, it's just being yourself. You know what I mean? Don't watch what a dead man do. You know what I mean? Just do your own thing. So I have watched Taxi Driver. I have. One sec. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Classic movie. Classic movie. I have seen this. Long before I ever even thought of doing cab driving, yeah, I've seen this movie. And I didn't decide to do cab driving because of this movie. Honestly, if I was to base my decision on this movie, I probably would have just not done it. Alright? If you've seen this movie, then you'll know why. But yeah, I have seen it. It's a great film. But if you are thinking of doing cab work, this is not the film to watch. It would turn you off. Sit in coffee shops and eat donuts. No, I drink coffee. I actually very rarely eat in coffee shops. I mean, if I do eat something, it might be a cake or a sandwich or something like that. But I mostly just get coffee. Like, I very rarely eat anything. I mostly would just get a coffee. And that's it. Occasionally I might get a coffee and something else. I don't think I've ever had a donut in a coffee shop, though, to be honest with you. Not in a coffee shop, at least. I mean, I've had plenty of donuts, don't get me wrong, but I don't think I've ever had one in a coffee shop. But yeah, mostly would just get one coffee, and that'd be me. Brenda might be dying, actually. I don't know. I think she's okay. I hope she's okay. But yeah, there's been a lot of dead leaves on her, and I've done a lot of removing those dead leaves. So I don't know. She might be dying. It might be just the winter. Maybe that's just natural for. I mean, it's a California poppy. I think they're more summer plants. So maybe it's just because there's not as much sun right now. Maybe once the sun comes in back again, it started livening up again. She started livening up again. But right now. Yeah, I've been removing a lot of dead leaves from Brenda, so yeah, she has a possibility she may not make it through the winter, but hopefully we'll see. By the way, for those who don't know, Brenda's a houseplant, not a person. That might have sounded horror movie-esque. You talking to me? Yeah, no, yeah. Taxi Driver is a great film. If anybody who hasn't seen it, by the way, definitely recommended movie. Definitely recommended movie. Yeah, just been doing me exactly. Just do you, man. Don't worry about what this guy likes, that guy. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I got a taxi a few weeks ago, and it was awkward. All he did was talk politics. I learned he was a die-hard lefty and even asked where I lean. I was like, what the fuck? I very rarely talk politics in my cab. I mean, not that I wouldn't say I never ever do, but it's a rare occasion. I never bring it up. Like, if I do talk politics, more often than not, it would be the pastor that brought it up. But the thing is, I don't have I have maybe not none. I have very few strong political opinions. I feel like most of my political opinions are very kind of like either way, somewhere in the middle. So I don't mind talking about it. But yeah, it's a rare occasion, and I never bring it up. I don't. Yeah, I just trying to think. I don't think I've ever. Maybe if I have brought it up, then it might have been like in casual conversation, but I certainly don't bring it up in any deliberate way to speak about issues, just because I feel like it's a bad idea. You don't know who's getting in your cab, you don't know what they're like, you don't know what their thoughts are. and it could just get real weird real quick. But luckily, I'd say anytime it has come up in my cab, it hasn't been an issue. So I've been fortunate in that respect. Have I been watering? Okay. I don't know. Why is that funny to me? Why? I don't know. Have I been watering my houseplant? Okay. Yes, Alan. I've been watering my houseplant. Why is that funny to me? Oh, mate. Yeah, I got deep in between ages 17 and 18. Well, the weirdest things you've encountered on a cab ride. Weirdest things? Probably... I'd say it's probably the guy who... There's one guy who got in and he couldn't decide whether he wanted to go with the journey or go home, and he just kept changing his mind. He would be like, yo, take me to this place. No, can you take me home? Oh, I'll go to this place. And we're just going like back and forth for the longest time. And I was telling this guy, look, I mean, how about there was a McDonald's nearby. I said to him, look, how about I just drop you off at the McDonald's, get yourself a coffee or whatever you want to do, think about where you want to go, and then book the cab to where you want to go. And he's like, no, I definitely want to go to this place. I want to go to this place. I'm like, all right, cool, we're driving on to this place. Oh, can you see me home, please? Can you see me home? It was just like that for ages. For like 2 hours, it was like that. And eventually, I just said, dude, you need to get out of my car. Like, I had to kick him out. I was like, you know what? I can't do this. I've got things to do. Okay, so you need to get out of my car. So he got him out of the car. I ended the trip, and he would have paid. And because the way it's calculated, he easily paid way more for me to take him nowhere than he would have paid had he just gone to his destination. You know what I mean? It was just ridiculous. Nah, it's so good, Al. It's so good. But yes, I have been watering my plants. It's during the cooler period, because during sort of winter period though. Yeah, one thing you have to do is be careful that you don't water them too much, because summertime water dries out quickly, right? The moisture will dry out quickly, so you have to water them more often, more frequently. Whereas during the cooler months, you have to be careful that you don't do that, because you could overwater, and that could be an issue. So easy way to check is that you just like feel the soil. If the soil is still moist, then you could probably leave it for another few days. Once sort of starts to feel a bit drier, then yeah, put some water on it to make sure they get enough. So, as I mentioned earlier, was a bus driver. He got in the strike somewhere on from there. He went quite fast though. When I said, dude, there's rights and wrongs on both sides equally. Yeah, things you're gonna, I mean, if you do cab work, like one of the things that happens is that you do hear a lot of different people's opinions on a lot of different things. You know, some of them you're gonna agree with, some of them you're not gonna agree with. When it comes to stuff like that, I tend to try and not venture too much of an opinion, especially if it's something that I don't agree with. I generally don't venture my opinion on it. You know, I try to kind of skirt around it without either agreeing or disagree, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. Just because like I don't want to get into any kind of like arguments with somebody over something in my car. You know, right? Because I don't want to do that. So I tend to just kind of skirt around it by neither agreeing or disagreeing and just kind of casually trying to move the subject along. But yeah, you hear so many different things, and some opinions are like, you know, interesting that you could kind of engage with. Some opinions are just downright stupid that you're like, bruh, let me not say nothing. Let me not say that before I end up cussing this person out, because let me not say nothing. Yeah, but you know, such is the job. It is what it is. I can agree to disagree. Lots can't these days. I tell you, one of the most awkward trips I've had, though, where I picked up this guy and he was going across town. So this was maybe like a good 40-50 minute ride. And I picked him up. He gets there, you know, hey, how you doing? Blah, 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 all that kind of stuff, right? And he starts talking. And then as he's talking to me, he just lets me know right as he's speaking that, like, first of all, like, he was saying that where I picked him up from, like, he was going, how he was out last night, he met this girl, you know, went to her place and, you know, done the business, right? You know, that's what he was telling me in the beginning. I was like, you know, that's his thing, right? Cool, whatever, right? But then as he's talking, he's telling me that, he goes, yeah, he's like, yeah, now I need to get home before my wife starts complaining. So I was like, okay. I'm just picking up this guy and taking him home after he cheated on his wife. And apparently I'm now an accomplice in his cheating. It's like, I didn't need to know that. Like, I did not need to know that. Like, there's things I just don't need to know. That's one of them. I did not need to. You could have kept that one to yourself. You could have just said, hey, had some fun last night. Cool. All right, just leave it there. But he had to tell me this whole thing. I was like, all right, now I'm a part of it. Did not need to know that. People need to get a hobby. Oh, for sure. Find something you care about. Well, find something you care about that isn't somebody else's bollocks opinion or something. Right, nice. Or is it not worth the hassle? I've done a few nights. I mostly work either. Well, I guess I do a few different shifts depending on the day and what I'm doing on that day. But I'll say I typically would either do a few hours in the morning, take a long ass break, and then maybe do a few hours in the evening that same day. Or if I wake up, say, later in the day, I might just say start in the afternoon and go till about the evening. But yeah, I do nights every now and then. I've done like a few times going through the night, like where I would start at like 10 p.m. and go till like sort of 4, 5 in the morning. I've done that a few times. It's not, I mean, I guess I didn't have a lot of hassle when I was doing that, but it was more so it's just really, really tiring, you know? It's really, really tiring doing that. Once you've done it like a few times, it just feels like, even if you get enough sleep, it still feels so tiring. So that's my main reason for not doing it. It was just too tiring for me. But in terms of like passengers and stuff like that, personally, I'd say I didn't have any more hassle than people during the day. It was about the same. If anything, it was probably less hassle because at that time, It's a lot of like people going to like the airport for like a business trip, but they have to get certain flights so when they land, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. Or people just going home, you know. Of course you get a few like, you know, people have been drinking and this, that and the other, but that's mostly like on a Friday or a Saturday. During the week you don't really get that as much, so it wasn't hassle for me, at least not like that. It was just tiring. It was just tiring. But speaking of hassle, actually, I remember I did have this one guy who'd been drinking, and I was taking him home, and he was trying to tell me a quick way to get home, right? And he's giving me these directions, but he took me down a road that had been closed. So we drove all down this road, and we couldn't go any further because it had been closed. So I said to him, look, we're going to have to turn back, road's closed, let me just take you the way of this navigator. And at first he was like, all right, cool, let's do that then. But then literally like maybe a few minutes later, like a minute or two later, he starts tapping me on the shoulder, going, you need to go the other way, you need to go the other way. And I'm going, no, we can't, that's closed. And he's just tapping me on the shoulder. I'm like, can you not do that, please? You know? And he's like, we need to go the other way, we need to go the other way. And I'm like, it's closed, can you just, you know? So yeah, that was annoying. The dude just keeps tapping on my shoulder, going like that. It's like, you that, just don't. Hands to yourself, please, hands to yourself. Let's just not do that. A while ago, I got in a taxi driver. It definitely wasn't English. I don't care about that. What I did care about was he spent the whole ride on the phone talking to his own language and missed the turning completely. So it cost a little more than it should have. I wasn't happy. I paid, but didn't tip, and I always tip. A few weeks later, I mentioned it to another driver, and he went on a racist rant. Eesh. Yeah, and I didn't tip him either. I did try to report that, but don't know what came of it. Boy, that's awkward. That's mad awkward. Like, you trying to say, hey, had this trip with this guy, took it, and he said another guy. And it's like the extremes on either end. Oof. But yeah, I don't usually take calls during cab rides either. Like when the phone rings, I let it go to voicemail. Like I don't, especially personal calls. I don't, unless only time I've done that is if I was expecting a particularly important call, and even then it'd be like, do you mind if I take this call? It's such and such. I need to speak to them about something real quick and whatever. Most times they don't mind, right? I say most times. I've only done it like once. No, twice actually. I've done it twice. But yeah, other than that, I wouldn't be taking calls. If you call me while I'm on the road, it'd be like voicemail. Voicemail. Leave a message, I call you back. If I feel like calling you back. Or better yet, just send a text. Like, bro, like, why are you calling my phone, man? Like, send a text. What the hell? Make a movie called The Cab with the Navigator. Actually, both those drivers sucks big time. Alright, so here's, speaking of Cab with the Navigator then. Here's probably the most frequent question I get asked. And I don't mind getting answers, by the way. So it's not an issue. I ain't trying to say that, to be clear. But this is probably the most common question I get asked. Has it been busy? That's probably, I think, by far the most common question I get asked. Has it been busy? And I get it, I get it. I don't, like I said, I don't mind. I'd answer it. It's not a problem for me to answer it. But I feel like I get why. You're in a cab, you don't know the person, you're trying to figure out what you can talk about, and it's probably like the easiest question you could ask in terms of like, you've either had a decent day or whatever. But so I get it. I don't mind it. But yeah, I say that is by far the most common question I get asked. Has it been busy? Tell the email or DM, yeah, for real. Yo, what up, Celtic Echo? Bottle of water. Well, did have some water, but wasn't in a bottle. I thought that would be the most common question. Yeah. All right, for those of you who have gotten a cab, which I'm guessing is most, if not all of you, be honest. Have you asked your cab driver that question? When you got into a cab, be honest. Did you ask your cab driver that question? Have you ever asked your cab driver that question at any time? Has it been busy? Gotta stay hydrated indeed. Appreciate you, Chaotic Echo. Appreciate you coming through. How's your day going? How's your day been? That says that when he gets in a cab and then tells his story when he used to be a cabbie back in the day, in the early 80s. Back in my day. Are you even British if you don't ask a cab driver that or measure the weather? Absolutely. Tradition, I guess, is tradition. You know, the black heroes are Kwesi and Mr. Marvel. If not, check them out. I don't believe I do, actually. Mr. Marvel, okay. I know there's a Ms. Marvel. I don't know there's a Mr. Marvel. Are they married? Well, actually, Ms. Marvel, they wouldn't be married, would they? Divorced, maybe. Not married. Maybe they was married. But no, I don't believe I've ever had a Kwesi. Is that Marvel or DC? Probably neither, actually. Just search it, see what comes up. Alright, kind of looks cool. Alright, alright. Oh, the poll is at 50-50, by the way. 50% of you say it would be awesome. 50% of you say it would be terrible. Ooh, well, that is interesting. Right down the middle. Right down the middle. But yeah, let's see. What's I don't know. I'll try. What's the second most common question I've been asked? Then let me try and think of that, because that's definitely the most common by far, like easily. We're just talking about the most common question. Just supporting the stream, brother. I hope your channel takes off. Yo, appreciate that, Chaotic Echo. Yo. $5 tip. Nice one, bruh. Or sis. Sorry, my bad. I should not assume. Well, appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. $5. What's $5 Canadian in pounds? Let me see what I can do with $5 real quick. One sec. But yeah, we're just talking about the most common question, and I got asked as a cab driver, Jakes. Did you have to? I didn't have to learn the knowledge, no. So the knowledge you do if you do taxi work, taxi driving. I do private hire cab work, so you don't have to do the knowledge. We do a thing called a topographical test, which is just showing that you know how to understand the map pretty much, but it's not as nowhere near as in depth as what the knowledge is. The knowledge, I believe, is like sort of learning different roads and stuff like that. So yeah, we don't have to do that. But then with that means that we don't get certain privileges that taxi drivers get as well. So if you do learn the knowledge and you do get a taxi license, then there's things that come with it, which private hire drivers don't get. All right, let's see here. Where's my thing app gone? Here we are. So I'm gonna see what I can do with $5 Canadian. Add currency, Canadian dollars. Canadian, let me write that here. So $5 Canadian. What can I do with $5? So $5 Canadian is £3.06. Ooh, I could get a burger. Yo, big up Kelsey Echo. Just bought me a burger. Just bought me a burger. I appreciate it, man. I could get like a chicken burger for £3. Nice one. Or what else? I could get a coffee. No, I get coffee all the time. Let me get a burger. I want to get a burger. I get coffee all the time. I get coffee all the time. Boy, I could get fancy coffee though. No, I want a burger. I want a burger. Yo, appreciate that, Kelsey Kako. Thanks for the burger. Bro, I'm a Toronto bloke. Just for record. Oh, Toronto, nice one. Yeah, I went to Toronto like, ooh, a long time ago now. Like 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. It was a long time ago. But yeah, big up Toronto. T-Dot, yeah. Downtown, what was it? Where do I go to? I was in yeah, it was downtown Toronto. So near Yonge Street, yeah, which is you know, near the CN Towers. Like maybe the hotel I stayed at was like maybe like a 5-10 minute walk from the CN Tower. And it was like maybe a few streets away from Yonge Street. So yeah, I was in Toronto for like 5 days. But yeah, man, big up Toronto, big up T-Dot. That used to be a cab driver back in the early 80s, and the days well before sat-nav. Honestly, don't know how you could get around London without sat-nav. Yeah, so it's a lot. I mean, even now, like I've been doing it for a while, there's areas that I know better than others, right? So there's certainly places where I can get to without the navigator. Just knowing how to get there from there's places like that, but to do like a whole that'd be difficult for sure. And also, even if you know how to get there, you have to consider things like how much traffic changes, right? So you might know a route or even 2 routes on how to get from one place to another, but what you might not know is if there's bad traffic along the way. So a navigator can help with that. If there's like a closed road you might not know about, or there's been an accident that's blocked off the roads you might not know about. So yeah, like they definitely do come in handy. You can't rely on them, and this is the thing with navigators. As good as they are, you absolutely cannot rely on them, because they do, even now, even in big 2023, they can still take you down a wrong road or try to take you down or make you get a wrong turn or something like that. They can still do that. So you still gotta make sure you're paying attention to what's going on, you know. Non-woke comics. Can't lie, man, that sounds like a terrible name for a comic company. Non-woke comics. Why would you call a comic company that? That sounds like an absolutely terrible idea. Non-woke comics. We're not woke. Like, okay, are you good? You know what I mean? Like, non-woke comments. That sounds like a. Oh, bro. Let me look that real quick. Non-woke comics. Newly launched non-woke comic defies cancel culture. All right. Good luck with that. I don't think I'll be reading any of their things, to be honest with you. That sounds terrible. I don't know. Never say never. Never say never, but anytime you name your company after a political or social opinion, red flag to me. That's what I'm saying. It's a red flag. You could call your company anything in the literally anything, and you went with a statement on a political social movement. Yeah, red flag, red flag. But hey, good luck with that. Let's see. Is it necessary to learn the knowledge that these days with advent of Google Maps? I mean, in terms of getting around, it's not a necessity, right? But yeah, it's still required for taxi drivers. I mean, I think to be fair, it's still good to know the roads. Like I say, you can't rely completely on navigation systems. As good as they are, you can't rely completely on them. So I think it's still a good idea to know the roads as best as you can. Do you need to know them as well as the knowledge requires? That's kind of a bit more debatable now, right? But I think it's still a good idea to know the roads, to have a good understanding of how traffic works, which areas, that sort of thing. Because that helps, because sometimes the navigator will try to take you down a road that you know is either high traffic usually, or even if it isn't, you just know there's actually a shortcut somewhere, because like any kind of navigation system is going to rely on various algorithms, which is fine. If you don't know how to get there, it's going to give you a route, but it's not necessarily going to give you the best route or a good route, or it might be that you need to try and go through a different area first because the passenger wants to see something and this, that, and the other. So it's still good to know the roads and to have a good understanding of the roads. I'm not going to say that that's me just yet. I'm still kind of working my way. But I think it's still good to know the roads, have a good understanding of the roads. But yeah, whether you need to know them to that level, I mean, no harm in it, I suppose, right? No harm in it. Burger King or McDonald's? I don't really go to either, to be honest with you. Well, that's not a lie. I'd probably go McDonald's more, but only because of the coffee. As far as food goes, I could leave them both. I could leave them both. But McDonald's has decent coffee, so yeah, I'll go with McDonald's. For me, I'll know how to get to an area, but still I have to remember the name of the area. Also things like, I might know how to get to an area, but then the specific roads that somebody wants to get to, it might be like, well, now I need to look up how to get to that specific road. Like, for example, I could be like, okay, I could get to Brixton. Cool. Now that I'm in Brixton, the specific road that you need in Brixton, I might need to look that up. You know, if you tell me Acre Lane, I could get you to Acre Lane. You know what I mean? I can get you to Acre Lane. That's easy. I can get you to Brixton High Road. That's easy. But if he was like, I don't know, Tommy Street and Brixton, okay, let me look this one up. Woke. Non-woke. I just miss logic. Same preach. There's some other comics you might like. Comics, bear and sci-fi, comics and bear, podcast, comic book, food truck. I'm subscribed to all of them. I mean, I don't drink alcohol, so those bear ones, I'm probably not gonna probably not gonna have too much interest in those. But hey, you never know. You never know, right? You never know. So, comics and beer. Well, I guess I mean, I'm not big into comics, to be fair, but I like comics. I like comic book and movies more than I like comics these days. But I still like comics. I still like to get a comic once in a while. So I'm good with comics beer. I probably won't care too much about the beer bit, though. I don't know if it's a good idea to drink beer and read comics, though, because if you spill beer on your comics, that's an issue. You know what I mean? You don't want to spill beer on your comics. That's a problem. So maybe don't drink and read. I feel like that should be a thing. Like I say, don't drink and drive. Don't drink and read. It could be a problem. You might ruin a perfectly good comic if you do that. And you can't be overly reliant on technology. Indeed. Remember the good old days when we talked about our feelings but still had a sense of logic. Yeah, those days are gone. If you ain't living on feelings, you ain't shit. I don't get all this woke nonsense, to be honest. Where did our whole woke privilege come from? You know, to think about the woke movement, though, is like, it started with very genuine intent, which I think like a lot of these movements tend to do. They start with very genuine intent. And it wasn't even a movement when it started. It was really just a phrase that people use to describe, you know, being aware of something. You know, you didn't know about it before. Now you know about it, you're aware of it, you're woke to it, right? That's really literally what it meant, to be woke to something that you might not have known about before, where, you know, some injustice going on somewhere, or whatever it may be. So it didn't really start out as a movement, as it started out as just his way of describing becoming aware of something. But unfortunately, like with a lot of things, it gets co-opted, overused, people forget the meaning, and then it becomes something completely different to how it started. And now, just like with a lot of things, it doesn't really mean a whole lot. Can you look it up and check out the Black Superheroes Quasi and Mr. Marvel? What's all Haze about? Haze, what has been the longest kept journey you've ever taken? Oh, that's an easy one for me. It was going from, it was like somewhere in Southeast London. I forget where in Southeast, but it was somewhere in Southeast London. I think somewhere around Greenwich, if I remember correctly. But it was going out to a place called Digby, I want to say. But it was like way out west, like way past like Reading and, you know, all them areas are way out west. The whole thing was like 80 miles. I think it was maybe just a few miles shy of 80 miles, like 77, 78 miles, something like that. It's the... Actually, no, it's not only cab. I was about to say it's the only cab ride, but the passenger asks to stop to take a piss. It's not. It's not. I've had a few of those actually, but it's the only one where the person asks to stop to use the toilet and actually went to the toilet. So let me just say that. The other one's yeah, where they actually went to an actual toilet. It does hold that distinction. The only time somebody's asked to stop to use a toilet and went to an actual toilet. But yeah, that was the longest cab trip I did. It was like 80 miles. Yeah, going out to that Digby or something like that. Most famous passenger, I had a football player. I can't remember his name right now, but it's somebody who played for Chelsea. I really don't remember his name. There was a rapper that I had as well called Lioness, London rapper. You might have heard of if you listen to London rap music. To be honest, I didn't know who she was at the time. I only know who she was after we spoke, and then I looked her up, and apparently it's pretty big on the London rap scene. So yeah, you might have heard of her. I mean, I've listened to her stuff now. She is pretty good, so I'm definitely like, I like her. I do like her music. That now that I know she is, I've listened to her, and it's pretty cool stuff. But before that, I didn't know who she was. Picks up an actress who was in a TV show called Fairy something. I forget what it's called. But she was in a Netflix TV show. Again, I didn't know who she was before I picked her up. I don't think I've picked up anybody who I actually knew who they were. Put it that way. I've picked up people who, once we spoke, and I found out later, oh, they were doing this. That's happened a few times. But haven't picked up anybody where I've gotten like, oh my days, that's never happened. That's never happened. One day maybe, but that's not happened to me yet. So gonna be, middle school way. You gotta know where you wanna know where you're going. Always keep the map handy. Indeed. I mean, the navigation definitely comes in handy a lot. Can't lie. And it'd be if that was taken away, it'd be very difficult for me to do what I do. I ain't gonna lie on that. But yeah, you can't rely completely on it. And there's times where I've looked at the navigator and been like, nah. And I've had to be like, let me make a decision here and be like, no, we're not going that way, because that's good. Yeah. Sometimes I'm right. And it's like, cool, it was a better route. Other times it was like, maybe I should have stuck to the navigator. maybe I should have followed the navigation on this one. This might have been a bad idea. When you, oof. Did you live in the dark side with us? Unholy Grandmas, what was your favorite alcoholic drink? I don't know if I had a specific favorite, to be honest, but I would say the ones I had the most was Jack Daniels. I mean beer, I guess, but you know, everybody drinks beer. I think when it came to beer, I mostly drank Carlsberg, I think it was. And Hooch. I don't remember Hooch, but remember the alcohol pops. They weren't very popular. Yo, what up, Bull? They weren't very popular. In fact, a lot of times people would laugh at you if you drank alcohol pops. But I remember I'd get like the apple Hooch quite a bit as well. And even though I got teased for it, they'd be like, "You drink that?" So I got teased for it. But you know what? Yeah. By that point, I was used to being teased for doing things that other people don't do, so it made no sense to me. Hey, I could just call him by his name, but I'm using my privilege card. Oh yeah, yes, yeah, it's Woody now. Well, for Sam it's Woody. Everyone else, Haze. To save too much confusion. Oh, well, that's why he's called Woody. Well, it's probably for the best because I ain't gonna tell. I know why. Sam knows why. It's so good. Yeah, that's all it is. I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna say it. Yeah. He's doing better. Oh right, yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's the way. Yeah, indeed. Rest of the field, yeah. Yeah, apparently I had to resuscitate him like twice or 3 times. Well, yeah, but he seems to be doing okay now. Well, at least, doing better at least. He was on whatnot. That's an action figure of one of my favorite heroes. Oh yeah. Has been discharged from Cincinnati Hospital 1 week after suffering a cardiac arrest during an NFL game. He'll continue his recovery at a hospital in Buffalo, doctor said. Buffalo Bills safety, yeah. Bulls in the house. That was a Frosty Jack. Myself. What's a Frosty Jack? Is that Jack Downs with ice? I'm assuming. Of course, I don't know. I'm assuming. Well, actually, I don't know, but I'm guessing that's a Jack Downs with ice. That sounds like what that is. I think I just had mine's neat. Actually, I don't remember putting ice in it. I think I just had it just straight Jack Downs. Jack. Don't even like. Some people like the JD and Coke. I didn't even do that. It was just Jack Downs straight for me. I think at the time. I don't remember putting anything in it, but maybe maybe once or twice, but certainly not on a regular basis. I feel like I mostly just had it straight. Well, do you believe that conspiracy theory? Yeah, they're saying it wasn't that. They were saying it's the jab or the booster. What caused the can't even talk right now. What caused the heart issue, the cardiac arrest for Hamlin? Is that what you mean? As well, I just had Jack Daniels. I just had one. Sam's topping up. It is now had it not been for a black man. Nathan, there's green people during calls the uncle Neris, both blacks and whites. Yeah, I heard that story actually. Yeah, well, not. I mean, I heard of it. I didn't read details into it, but yeah, apparently, it was that it was Nathan that kind of refined the specifics of the recipe or something, and then but you never really got a credit for it. And it's only kind of in recent times where the Jack Daniels companies acknowledged that he played a big part in what it became in those early days. He was perfectly fine to draw the line at Woody. You got a friend in me. Here's a football player called Christian Eriksen, who also collapsed on the European Championships a while ago. Yeah. Yeah, there's similar things that have happened in the past where people have had like issues or like on the field with various things, and you know, it's all above board, nothing perfect going on. Man, would they just reach over for a lot? It was very reminiscent of time. It's collapse. I already know it was. No, what was then? I haven't even seen or heard about it. And like the Paul Mooney joke that they already know. If they shake it hard enough, then they go fall out. I don't know if I know that joke, but okay. Kyrie Irving. So you guys think it was he got vaxxed and that's what caused him to have a heart attack? I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, wouldn't there be more heart attacks if that were the case, or? I don't know, man. I mean, look, I'm not gonna say it wasn't, because end of the day, who knows how various things could impact various different bodies and so on. So certainly not an impossible thing, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I made a joke about racist whites searching their lineage. Oh, okay. Marvin Hagler died, and he got vaccinated. Marvin Hagler, wasn't he a boxer? Yeah, he was an American professional boxer and film actor. Died March 13th, 2021. Yeah. Everybody is different. There's an example of people down studying can guess the common denominator. But again, I guess then the question is, was there something that they had that triggered that the vaccination triggered? You know, not necessarily an illness, but is there something else, like, I don't know, some gene or whatever? I don't know. I ain't no doctor. I wouldn't. You see, I was using whatever else fine, but he only has the first and final on what your body is buried. I know we all die, but it smells fishy. I really want to know which color blind did my name asking time. I'm gonna look this up tomorrow. Yeah, I'm buying some glasses. I mean, I feel like there's definitely a lot going on that we don't know about. Things that we get told are definitely not the complete story of what's happening. And I'm certainly not the type to be like, you know, get vaccinated. Or, I mean, at the end of the day, like, you do with your body as you see fit. You know, I think everybody is different, and nobody's going to know your body better than you know your body in terms of, you know, your own health. You know what feels right. And yeah, I feel like there's so many things about humanity and whatever that we don't fully understand as to why certain things happen to some people but not others, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, maybe, but I don't know. I mean, lots of people have gotten a vaccination and they're not dead, you know, so there's that too. So I don't know, man. It's just different bodies, right? Different bodies react to different things in different ways, and it's not always clear as to why that is, you know. So it's unfortunate. There's definitely things we're not being told, but I don't know. I've had 4 COVID vaccinations now. So I've got the first one, then I got the second one, which is, you know, you're supposed to get 2. Then I've got the third one, which is the booster, and I've got a second booster a few months ago. So yeah, 4 in total. So yeah, and then recently I've also had a hepatitis A vaccination, a flu vaccination, a diphtheria, I forget what it's called, polio vaccination, something like that. And what was it called again? Typhoid vaccination as well. That was in the last maybe few weeks. But a few weeks to a month ago. So yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Sound Jacob, black and white is mentioned until I forget anyway. And some scientists or researchers found the remains of the oldest person ever in the UK. I think from 20,000 years ago. He was burnt. Yeah, I mean, there was something I read. There was something I read a while ago where they were saying that due to something they found, some discovery they found, I can't remember exactly what it was, but some discovery they found, they were saying that the first people to come to Europe, or what we now know as Europe, I should say, rather, it wouldn't have been called Europe back then, but the first people to come to what we now know as Europe came somewhere around 40,000 years ago. And yeah, we're likely to be sort of dark-skinned people. Could have found me a Killmonger action figure. Oof. For real, for real. Commercial cordis is a condition in which an abnormal heart rhythm and cardiac arrest happen immediately upon a strike on the chest directly over the heart at a very critical time during a heartbeat. Oh, okay. So if it is that, then what we're talking about is just a particular impact at a very particular time, like I don't know, like a ball hitting a chest or something like that. They look like this color. Yeah, I reckon they probably like. I mean, to be fair, like probably back then everything was still black and white anyway, so they just couldn't see properly, right? You know what I mean? In fact, not even black and white. It was like that sepia tone. Like I feel like back then it was everybody just saw things in sepia tone. So yeah, they probably struggled with what things actually look like. You know, they couldn't really describe things like, oh, I'm not sure. It's white, I guess, black, mate. I can't really. Color hadn't been invented yet back when I've come up with these things, so they just guessed. This thing's possibility being a football is a context for obviously the oldest group on the planet. What about the Mohammed, not Ericsson? No, that's a football man. Yeah, gridiron. That's correct, Haze. Even if you didn't, let people work across Europe too. The malls, manage Europe, Russian, the mouse, market, European Scotland. The Green Bay Packers fan. Packers. Well, speaking of packing, I've got to pack this up. It is about 5 to 12. So I got to be laying my head down to rest. Wake up in the morning and do some things. Actually went to Lambo. Oh, the same. Okay, yeah. I got to do some things. I gotta find me a Kill My Action figure and merch. You can probably find one on Amazon. Probably. I mean, I haven't looked, but I'm just saying probably. This should have a clear color. White people. Are we beige? Are we peachy? Pink? Are we even human? Maybe we're alien. You know what? Speaking of aliens, actually, or what, you know, white people being aliens, I did come across this video. I remember it just kind of reminded me of this. This video I came across years ago now, where they were suggesting that way back in the day, people lived under the earth, like under the ground, right? And it was, you know, it was all black people just living under the ground in these societies. And back then we had these cone-shaped heads, right? Because we had these big brains. And they were like these scientists that created white people, like these black scientists that created white people. And the whole thing was utterly ridiculous. Like the fact that I'm using the term utterly might even suggest how ridiculous it is. I don't know if I've ever used the term utterly like that in my life, but the fact that I'm referring to this video is utterly ridiculous. Just might give you an idea of how ridiculous this video was. But it was done in such like a serious way. The only reason why I watched it is because somebody recommended it to me. Like, somebody was saying they were suggesting that I watch this video, and they were telling me like, you know, they believe this thing to be true. Like, so I watched the video and I was like, you know, you have to start giving some people the major side eye. Like, look, I ain't no scientist, and I ain't gonna claim to know everything, and I ain't gonna say I know all about human history and blah blah blah. And so there's, like I said, there's lots about this life and this planet that we don't know. But come on, I mean, come on, let's try and, you know what I mean? Let's try and stay within a reasonable confines of, you know what I mean? Like, let's try and do that. But anyway. White people might not be aliens, but you might have been invented by underground black people. That might be what happened as a one possibility. Yeah, Giants fan. New York. Tottenham Stadium to watch again. Sounds like that should be a movie. It probably already is. Terrible day that was. Yeah, they do like the things with Tottenham Stadium, and I think some other stadiums do it as well. But I know Tottenham are big on it. They have like some deal to have them over every now and then. It's a massive event when they do it. Funny, I support Tottenham, the soccer team as well. Guess they're doing alright by you then, huh? The team you support support the team you support. Alright, let me end this poll before I end this live chat, live stream. Just recently, there's a video of some Arab guy getting hella salty when he found out ancient Egyptian remains are black and are Arabs. I mean, that probably isn't a surprise. Well, it shouldn't be anyway, but hey. Okay, they go retractable. Oh, nice. There you go. White people are man-made. Black people, stranger things have happened. Exactly. This is the poll. Terrible. Oh, okay. Late addition to the poll, terrible souls. That's 8 votes instead of 7. I'm not sure if it makes a difference too much though, but because we have 57 people said, 57% of people, excuse me, said it would be awesome. That's interesting. That kind of switch. It was the other way around before. To 42% of you guys saying it would be terrible. But there was a late addition to the terrible, so maybe it evens it out just a little bit. But yeah, most of you guys think it'd be an awesome thing if a horror movie was made where everyone made sensible choices. Well, I can't say I agree with you, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it can be done. Maybe one day we'll find out. No, that's a great subject for the original Egyptians. Yeah, man. Hood half of the Middle East was occupied by black centuries before Arabs showed up. Yeah. Alright, guys, you have been awesome as always. I appreciate you and all that you do. Thank you for keeping me company. Thank you for keeping it lively. You guys like horror movies. Well, to be fair, actually no, I don't like horror movies, but I don't mind crap movies, and hopefully be watching some more crap movies to come as well. But next week it's Halloween 2, Halloween 1, but the new rebooted Halloween 1, because we're continuing our Halloween journey. We're getting through all the Halloween movies, so we're going back to Halloween 1, but the new Halloween 1, the second rebooted Halloween 1. That's next week. That's our plan for next week. We need 2 moving outs a week, Haze. Maybe one day, not right now, methinks, but maybe one day. Never say never, but for now, it's just gonna be one. But yeah, that's for next week. But for now, guys, appreciate you coming through. Till whenever, if ever. I forgot what I'm doing. Here we go. Peace.